winning their map pick on Nuke. They lose at 16-6. Not the prettiest of showings right here, but we're going to try to paint a pretty picture for you. I've got Yanko with me, and we're ready to start to dive into it. At least make sense of how this was such a one-sided affair.
Yeah, I mean, a couple of unfortunate rounds for FPX in the first half, losing that anti-eco the third round, losing two very close 1v1 clutches as well, and still getting 5 rounds. You know, it's like not the end of the world. It's respectable, but if it happens, you really need to get a good start in the second half, you know, winning the pistol, or if you lose it, like win the force buy, and they didn't get any of that. Complexity just really immediately got the job done in the second half.
Yeah, they took control and they kind of ran with it from there. We could talk about a head-to-head too, because I want to talk about numbers, Yanko. You seem to like numbers pretty well, and I think they're going to...
Yeah, I'm a numbers guy. The more, the merrier.
Yeah, the more the merrier. That does make sense. In terms of head-to-head and kind of putting and pitting people against each other in this bout, Maiden and Poison. And why, Yanko?
Yeah, I mean, Madden probably the star player of FPX, really, and Poison being the AWPer, a very much influential player for Complexity. Also, he's been back for a month now, so we saw him have actually a lot of impact in this particular game early on, really dismantling FPX, and just all around had, you know, a really, really good game. And Madden, you could see him, like, a lot of rounds where they had a chance, it was because he, like, got a kill or 1 or 2 crucial kills, those swing kills, as we call them, and really, you know, gave his team the best chance he could.
But it, you know, wasn't enough. Unfortunately, that is the salty reality we look at if you're a FunPlus fan. In fact, we're going to continue to break it down over on the Telestrator. I think we're looking at the early part of the game, Yanko.
Yeah, exactly. We were talking about Poison. So, you know, basically one of the main things that you do on the T side, on Train, like Train is Nuke is all about, like, misdirection, right? Like, misdirection on yard, abusing rotations, like forcing them and all that kind of stuff. And you do that mostly with the smokes outside. So what happened early on for FPX, unfortunately, after they lost that initial round, is in the first gun round, you can see right now, very important, Poison, like, he has the op, he just goes immediately for that plate behind T-Red, like, just waits, plays anti-flash, peeks immediately, gets the kill on Sunny, right? That's an easy 5v4. 2 rounds later, another gun round. What happens? So first you see the effect that initial kill had. Now Sunny is playing a lot more safe. You see Farley here is actually holding a flash for him to flash this position. So this is taking a lot of time. And Poison is aware of this. So you see what he does. He's all the way down in secret. He's going to come secret from Ram, basically, and he has time for it because you can see how careful Sunny is, and the rest of FPX, they're worried about him, and he has perfect timing now to get 2 more kills, actually, and again, completely dismantle the gun round for FPX. You can see probably a little bit of a problem for them, the fact that they're a little bit disjointed, right? Like, the Molly is flying in, but the player already died. Sunny already pushed towards secret. So that could be, you know, one of those things that we discussed where they are going to have some issues playing together, probably a bit of miscommunication. They just didn't have that much time to, you know, coordinate themselves as a unit. And, you know, Poison took full advantage of that. And these 2 gun rounds really got the momentum going for Complexity. They developed a strong economy after that as well.
And that's got to be super annoying, right? You're just trying to get your foot down outside, but really you're getting your lunch ate in the meantime, because FunPlus now get the opportunity to go over Dust 2. And we know this is the pick of Complexity. And for Complexity, you got to think, you know what, I'm kind of sitting in the driver's seat at this point. We ran away with the first map. If we can keep that intensity and that momentum going, then Dust 2 might be a walk in the park, Yanko.
Absolutely. You know, they have full confidence now in their map pick, and I said it before, you know, for FPX this felt like it had to be a 2-0. You know, they were gambling all the way through the veto, leaving Vertigo in, hoping that Complexity will remove it at some point, and Complexity left it as the 3rd map. So even if, you know, FPX is able to steal this one away, I have full confidence in Complexity taking Vertigo if it comes to that.
Just closing the series out, and maybe in 2, but not likely 3.
Yeah, I mean, the way they've been playing right now, especially Poison, right? Dust 2, op heavy map, he can have a lot of impact, and that's maybe where you want to see Farley play a bit more loose, right? Like, with a little bit more freedom, just try to make something happen for his team in case they get stuck again on the T side.
Yeah, and, you know, I think we just have to keep our hopes up, at least for the side of FunPlus Phoenix, that even if they don't win this...
Hope dies last, Trace.
You're right, it does. But dying first, not really what you want to do here if you're FunPlus Phoenix. Getting the slow start on the first map of Nuke, now they turn their attention towards Dust 2 and try to wipe away those tears. For us, we go back, we take a seat, and we get ready for the next map.
start your esports career now at play.eslgaming.com.
My name is Jordan Gilbert, aka Nothing.
Hi, my name is Sue Lee. My handle is Smix. I think it's important for these initiatives to happen. Empathy really, really goes a long way, and it always means so much to us, and I think that's where initiatives like this really help.
I encourage everyone in the community, anytime they see bullying, anytime they see someone getting called names, I encourage you to step up and say something.
Good luck, have fun.
Good luck, have fun.
First thing you notice, you feel a bit excited. You see a purple butterfly is flying by. A little tension in your jaw, let your teeth shine. Put on your blue dress, it fits just fine. You go to never coming back. There is nothing as it seems in your requiem for a dream. Halfway through you start to
ESL Pro League is brought to you by
orange
Gaming Malta,
leaves on
Intel,
the ground.
US Air Force,
At the end,
1xBet,
nothing
and DHF.
yourself. Green is all you see as you fall.
Dust 2, Map 2, first game of ESL Pro League Season 13. Machine and Sponge residing to bring you the loud noises necessary to tell the story. FPX are down 1-0. It's time for Cole's pick. Look great for complexity, Chad, but is there any hope that FPX can post a competitive second map here? We're into our pistol.
Look at this, straight away, Alex into lower dark, 2 players. So off the bat, Stiko and Zen have taken control. Sunny's pushed up middle, and he's even found the first kill. Just like Nuke opens things up.
Thank God he spewed the bomb into long doors. It could have got even more awkward, but they've already lost a man.
The race is on towards A, though. Rotating over will be FPX, trying to stop complexity, but they've already crossed.
Not bad. That smoke's actually done a world of good. But Config, he's going to push the issue. Doesn't check Gandalf. He's not thorough, and he gets punished for it. Maiden just puts enough. I think about 12 bullets into the butt cheeks of JKS. Rush is on the observer feed tonight. Rush is also shut down by Sunny. So we do see the 1-0. FPX will take their CT pistol, but I mean, they're coming into a new territory, new turf. I have been enjoying watching the Dust 2 games as of late. How's Cole's stats on this map?
Look, it's a map for complexity where I've never hugely been in love with it. I think that I got tainted a bit when Poison was out.
Oh, yeah, fair.
When Otto was in there, and obviously we had Nada Safik stand in. So my recent history of complexity, it's a little bit more spotty just because of the troubles that they've been having. But if Poison has that form that he had on Nuke, I think FPX might be in a world of hurt here.
And don't forget, FPX are the Gambit killers.
That's right. So if you take a little bit of a look, before Katowice, the grand final of Snow Sweet Snow was FPX versus Gambit, and FPX won the grand final with Chris J on Dust 2 as the final map. So at least the history and the opponents that they've done it against stand out. But let's see if it was just a one-trick pony type of maneuver or if they can replicate that here today. Very quiet scene. So cat control has been taken. They have utility to make this one work. Farley will be able to...
It's a lot of responsibility on Farley.
Yeah, and he has no utility. If he gets flashed off, he has to play much more passive.
He's actually dipped into long, so they'll be essentially playing retake if they were to swing now, which is exactly what they're doing. How do you contest this? He's missed his first scout shot, won't get many more of those. He has tagged Rush and converts it nicely through the box. A second was a chance, but instead it's Poison that does glaze him. And finishes an off as well. Upgrade to the Deagle, looking very difficult now for the CT. Straight through the smoke, Zen. And now gobbling up the flashbang. Sunny's forced into a passive stance. Maiden's catching bullets. It's getting awkward. And complexity are making this A after plant look so comfortable.
Yeah, just peeled this away from FPX. Kill at a time, and well, Stiko will do well to hold on to this Famus. Starting to have a little bit of a gander, but yeah, that extra smoke dropped on down there just towards the front of sight. That one makes anybody, any AWPer, any mid-long player's life a bit of a living hell.
So is that a T-smoke they dropped?
Yeah, so the executes have been evolving, right? Back in the day, we used to throw the standard bridge smoke, we used to drop a CT smoke, and then we would do one that banked off the wall and landed more like long corner where the crossover is,
So that
right?
you could focus on the ramp swing if you were dropped,
Now this smoke that you're going to see that get lobbed on out a little bit more often.
This one?
Yeah, this one here is kind of also acting as a one-way to kind of run over. Now, I didn't quite catch who threw it.
Interesting stuff. Sunny, good to see his face back on our screens. For those of you that missed the first map, we were talking about the fact that this is his first official back in the server in nearly 100 days. So it's good to see Sunny fragging.
Oh, that was a Sunny smoke, it looks like. Hold on, I'm going to watch this back on my little skybox tool because I've been seeing... Oh, hold up, more aggression.
And I think Config's ready for it. Oh, he got dinked. If only the weapon was a little larger. Even a Deagle could have got it done. Instead, FAMAS, the main investment from FPX, now lies completely unobtainable. Top of mid. How are you supposed to get that one back? There's complexity players all over, swarming. They boosted up for an attempt. Maiden's made it work. He has 9 HP, takes that duel. Equips himself an AK. Not sure how else he plans to find impact on this one. He does manage to toss it over towards Zen with armor and health. They might an OA boost. This could be perfect, actually. Poison is jiggling it, but I'm not so sure he's going to be patrolling or expecting this kind of angle to be held. The smoke will fade, and they're actually opting back towards doors.
Well, he wants to clear this out. A molly would be great.
Hello! Wasn't expecting that. The totem pole of defense. Rush is going to feel the wrath of that AK, and he does deal with it well. He's weathered the storm. Sunny pushing in. Needs the fresh mag. JKS needs to get his weapon out. Caught fumbling around with his util.
He's in trouble.
He's okay. Sunny is forced off. Bomb will be going down. That should give JKS a way out, and he's done a lot more than just wait it out. He brings the fight to them.
Yeah, I just went back and watched that round that we were talking about, the force bay onto the A site there, and it was Sunny who dropped the smoke, and I'm trying to understand the thought process. I think it was to give them a window to come up, but this is just showing me that maybe there's a little bit of a misunderstanding of how they want to play these retake situations on the A bomb site early, because I've been seeing more teams on the T side lobbing that smoke out to give themselves an easier passage towards A. Well, that smoke went down. Complexity were already in A, so we kind of just helped them out a little bit right there. But all in all, Complexity 2-1, and FPX will be down to just these pistols. Rushley, are we able to talk to you, my friend?
Hello?
Oh, wow. You're
Hey, what's
there.
going on?
This is just like TeamSpeak after work.
Yeah, it is. How you doing? Everything well?
Yeah, not too bad. We'll get you in on the Ecos, I think, a bit more during the Pro League.
All right, roger that. Sounds good to me.
Do you want to show everybody why we get you in on the Ecos?
Well, my casting prowess is quite strong, some might say.
All right, well, I think what we're going to do is we might have to have a word about the whole mask casting situation at some point, actually. So we'll take this one, and
Roger
I'll practice my play-by-play. So you can give me a out of 10 once we finish this round.
Peace, boys.
Bye, Rush. All right, Alex, you ready for this one?
So I have one request.
Okay. Don't make me say this is sensational.
No request like that. Just...
I call them flip-flops now. You guys have changed.
Okay, well, I've been warped as well. I can't stop calling them pants. You know, like, they are trousers. They've always been trousers. But there I am putting my pants on over my underpants, and it all makes sense, you know? The Americans aren't always wrong.
Yeah, sometimes they get it right.
Yeah, first time for everything.
3-1. A quick start here from Complexity, picking up where they left off, and this is a bit of the replay just against the pistol. So Blame F farming a bit of cash with that Mac 10. And I think one of the situations, one of the problems and one of the talking points for Complexity ever since JKS joined was his level of underperformance for the team, right? That's something that the community has been harping on about. And I think if you'd ask Justin by his own account if he's been happy with it, I'd say probably not. But now the team...
AWPing now.
Oh, yeah.
And Farley immediately shows he's got his AWP trained on middle. Shuts down the AWPing presence of Complexity on this T side. Config goes for the swing. Probably wasn't ready for 3 of them. And well, that's a lot of early casualties for Complexity to deal with. Farley adds another to the list. He's not quite done. Blame's picked up the AWP. He could be peaked by the Danish AWPing legend, it seems. Farley is just popping off, taking this round entirely on his own volition.
Yeah, and that's what you need to see right here from an AWPer on Dust 2, especially on the CT side. Now it's just Rush 1 on 5. Bomb on his back, and a great shot there. So the bomb should go down.
That's a chef's kiss moment. Drops his smoke and will get his team an extra $800 in the pocket of every single one of them in their Complexity pants.
If he grabs another kill over the top of the smoke here, this one becomes more and more doable. 3 of them coming from Cat. If he deals with this long player...
Yeah, he's taken a really nice reposition here. He knows the long wasn't going to peek until his teammates arrive on short, and now he's got the element of surprise. This is so spicy. Rush has the element onto Sunny. Trigger discipline. Oh, what? Who is that rascal that just thought about it? Did he maybe jump and spot it? I'm interested. Was that a blind shot that just got the sound cue? Damn, I thought he had something special cooking up there, Rush. Nice try. FPX retake. Spot him out through that car. And it was Farley that really did do the damage. Catching the late arrival of JKS. I think it's safe to assume that on their defaults that he will be coming through that tunnels at some point.
Yeah, it is quite... Oh.
Steeko did...
So who slammed it first? I guess there was just
There's a Gandalf AWPer and yeah.
Okay, so... It was a good play. He was getting edging right there towards the player pushing up from long, so that could have been a completely different round if he found that kill earlier, but the double ops are still out. Poison going for a long pick.
Brave. Bang. Oh, yoish. It's a close exchange. Both AWPers live to tell the tale. And that second AWP's getting boosted. They're looking for that Blame F JKS.
You won't expect this.
Why? Because of the AWP firing shots?
Yeah.
Fair. They jiggle it nicely, though. Doing their due diligence. Welcome to 2021.
Yeah, nothing given right there. So Complexity now garnering this mid control. But look how many players want to fight it from FPX. 1 on short, 2 towards mid doors. They're ready to biff this. They're not giving it for free. A lot of resources going into taking control just of the mid doors here. Nobody holding B. As I say that, Zen rotates back over. The double op setup on A becomes problematic as soon as Steeko loses this control.
Sunny, bro.
You're burning. 20 HP.
All right, well. I was going to say it looked like he was flashed, but he definitely wasn't. Just took a while to realize that spread was coming his way.
But look at this setup. I don't mind it if they hit their shots, but as soon as Steeko
Oh no,
goes
they're re-aggressing. This spells trouble. Flashes and pushes. He tries to catch the timing. Well played from Steeko. Sunny babysits. Config falls as well. They have successfully won those duels. And now it leaves Complexity's ears ringing. Into Maiden. Powerful angle. Catches Blame as he sets up to pull the trigger. kс, an important and crucial trade. Smoke will block off Stiko's options. He can spray blindly, but they are up. Just Zen on the site. Dells find one, and Zen actually finds them both. Nice hold of that B site.
Yes, it's very clear they didn't want to give Complexity free mid doors or short control right there. And the reason that I was seeming a little bit concerned for FPX was that setup had Farley AWPing top A and Stiko AWPing short. Now, it seems like a bit of a crazy setup to have two AWPs over towards A, but if both players hit their initial shots when they're defaulting, you can get a couple of free kills. Once you get into the mid round and it turns into what was going to be more of a team explode, as soon as Stiko goes down or Sunny, then all the pressure's on Farley. Maybe he gets split on, and that site is very difficult to hold with an AWP like that.
Hello.
And this is a very aggressive maneuver here from Sunny. A lot of info, but lower tunnels is the problem.
You might get... Oh, actually, it's smokes. They can't see him. And Rush caught with his knife out. That's info, and he's got a nade perfectly destined for greatness. Ouch. About 100 damage inflicted. And he's going to throw some more damage downrange as well. And with their backs turned, the meat grinder grinds its last sausage. Oh, Blame F. God, you can make a lot of sausages out of Blame F, couldn't you?
Yeah, I don't know if people have been playing Valheim. It's such a weird thing in that game.
What, you're making sausages?
Make sausages, but you make it from like the entrails of these humanoid type things.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's where the expression you don't want to know how the sausage is made, right?
Oh, I get, yeah.
Because they put all the bits that you couldn't put in the actual premium cuts. You just grind them up and shove them on the butcher's shelf and make some extra cash.
Put them in a bun and sell them at Pimp's store. Pimp's hot dogs.
Oh, Pimp's hot dogs. Honestly, just from the name value alone, I'm sure it would see some business. You had that.
Blame's got a lot of room here. He's in pit almost for free. I don't even know if he's here.
And he can even knock their heads off. Oh, hard shot. Oh. Body shots. War of attrition is won. Poison's thigh is exposed. Stiko's actually really impressing me. That's 2 impactful rounds so far on the AWP with aggressive maneuvers, no less.
If they set this up and just do the smokes across on towards A, right now could be the window of time they're looking for. Sunny's towards the top of the site. He can't really defend this too well. Not much utility to limp out. Has to wait in plain sight and hope that his teammates can come over and flash him through. He's going to fight this.
He wants to. He's turned all of the flashes so well. Line doesn't pay off. He's shut down. kс finds one. Maiden standing his ground. He delivers just the one as well.
Double AWP A retake.
Yeah, Farley's screwed. It's a good incendiary, but immediately a smoke enables safe passage of the bomb and its after plant.
They are pinned on the site here, so if the AWPs hang around and then Complexity try to find post-plant position
great util.
Maybe they can find a pick, but how long do you want to hang around for?
Yeah, it looks like they are getting themselves out of dodge when you see the smoke deployed like that in CT. Hoping it lulls them into a false sense of security. We can see Color not giving up a single inch. They will have to vacate the bomb a little bit, but they should be timing that about now.
Yeah, money's really nice for FPX as well after those few rounds. So saving both AWPs, that's what you'd ideally want to be walking away from a round like this with. The others will be able to buy into their rifles. I think the aggression that Sunny's been throwing in, they did it on pistol round, he's done it on an anti-eco round. That's going to keep Complexity on their toes and actually act to frustrate them. But Sunny here, maybe not too aware of the timing on this cross. There was still 1:10 left on the clock when that piece was coming on through. And as soon as he goes down, well, the rest of the dominoes follow.
Competitive half so far.
I'm curious if the theme will still be to try and punish these mid/short takes from Complexity here, because if that is the case, then long and B do become a lot weaker.
I mean, Cole have not looked at B once. We haven't seen like anything that deviates from this norm.
Sunny's very active.
Yeah, they fancy themselves a little late long action, which is interesting considering Sunny's aggressive positioning. I wonder if there's a flash or if it's just dry clear from Rush. It looks like there is. Config's holding one. It's a smoke for long corner. Interesting. Sunny's solo now, tucking himself into pit. Elsewhere, the battle for mid control is being progressed. Poison actually fancies his chances here. He's holding the tight line. Catches Farley. Desperately trying to evasively jump. Sunny with a good pop flash for himself. Lots to do. Team flashes as well. Rush on the swing, Rush on the hunt. Rush goes down, quickly traded. Keeping it equal. kс up short, good amount of pressure here and a gap in the smoke. It's enough for Zen. Shuts him down, awkward now. Config and Blame, the two Danes looking to initiate some pain. Flash for the cross, 50 seconds on the clock, and it does look like they're gonna be pulling the ripcord, get out of there. Options plentiful, CTs as you could imagine. divided in a 2v versus 3, 1 mid, 1 A, 1 B.
Real problems, though. The fact that there's no nades to work with here for complexity, if they wanted to go late onto this B bomb site, STIKO could even hold from outside doors. So we can see on the radar here, and through the first-person eyes of Config, they have made their way all the way through T-spawn.
He's looking at mid, though. Why is he not looking at B? It's the only thing he has to be responsible for.
Yeah, I guess it'll just be on timing right here. And now as the clock starts to whittle even lower, he can turn all that attention towards upper tunnels.
Okay. Utility, indicative. He gets his first and does get away. That's the problem for Config now.
Seconds,
yeah. The fact that you pull the trigger and can reposition, you don't see that trade, just no chance that you're going to get that bomb down uncontested.
Another interesting strat that came out of complexity just there, and it's more old school, right? You're almost flipping back the pages here. They went for a long take. This was Poison punishing with that close-up personal play towards the mid doors. But they went for the long take, right, where you actually do a wall of smokes across the front of long. So nobody from A, from car, from mid-long can help the long defender who gets isolated towards pit. Sunny did a good job, but if you get control and you don't take any control of the rest of the map, you're still just stuck in a normal position that teams find themselves on. Oh, that smoke seems like it's a bit oddly dropped. Well, I guess only covering half of it here is Farley trying to play around it, get a bit of a one-way situation going. And he's been very good around these mid doors. Another...
Oh, he's so comfortable on those doors. Rare to see the wallbangs convert. He will get overwhelmed. He hasn't gone down somehow, some way. Farley lives on, holds on to his AWP. Deagle, a helmet for Blame F. World Kevlar shortage as they've tried to manufacture a helmet for him.
Oh,
there you have it. He's got himself at least one, could be a second. Oh, good dink, not going to convert it. It's Blame that does. Damage now from the in-game leader of Cole, leading by example, leading through brutality. It does seem short the next threat, and they aren't going to be able to contest that. Farley low, let's not forget. Miraculous escape from him after they peppered him. kс has recovered an M4, and if he gets long and wins his duel, there's a world where they can do this, but he's been caught. STIKO's flank, and more frags, more impact frags from STIKO's secondary AWP.
Yeah, some of these rounds here that FPX are picking up are the rounds that they were dropping on map number 1, right? The close 2v2s, obviously some 1v1 situations in there, and this time they're walking away with well, the conversion, and now they find themselves sitting pretty with 6 rounds. Good damage here from Blame, a couple of nice shots. Dinked up. Headshot there onto Sunny. Can't seem to catch a bit of a break at the moment.
Ooh. Really looking comfortable on the AWP. STIKO's been warming himself up. Starting up the tractor.
Good long spawn here from Poison. Has the AWP. Might be able to find himself a corner fight on the other side of things. It looks like Farley's going to be running towards that direction to take this duel.
Give me a taste of this AWP on AWP duel. Hello and welcome to Counter-Strike reaction speed tests. Pop. Looks like Poison will win this one out. Maiden wants to change things though. This could really rock the boat. Blame's obviously aware. He's got kс in tow for the trade. Jiggles it. Ready for ks. Well played from Maiden. Ready and waiting. Oh. And STIKO's aggression again posts around. Perhaps preemptively called, but Config, Poison, and Rush are here to make me sound silly. They advance up long. Man advantage for the Phoenix. Oh, and a hard shot to hit. Sunny actually does get hit through the box. Great flash. Forces the fight. They turn it. Rush does turn this round around. They're low.
Plenty of time. They can drop back.
Awkwardness now ensues. STIKO, the nade and Molly do look promising if he can just get it set up on ramp. Rush tagged down even lower.
Oh, the flames.
Burning, and he does go down to STIKO's util, not far off for the jumping shot. STIKO trying to be the hero. Sunny's so low. Config finds him. Pushed up nicely. Angles favor him. He's got a crossfire now established with Poison, which puts STIKO in a very tight spot. Forced to drop his smoke, and Maiden exposed. They were looking for the boost, and that could be enough. Jumping now. Exposed. Does have a kit. Would have to hit the no-scope, and now he's trying to find any way back in. The double AWPs eventually failed, and Complexity, they'd switched that on its head. It looked great after the opening duel. Maiden finding kс after conceding his early AWP's death.
It's a good little pincer there, wasn't it?
It was, really nice.
That nade...
STIKO, though, not enough.
Oh, yeah, so it's just spreading there and tickling Rush's feet. You can see that aerial view of that shot, just how unfortunate it was to go down. But staying active, right? Poison could have gone and played pit. He could have played a very passive role, but he stayed close to make sure he could help Config in that post-plant. The double AWPs will come out again for FPX here, and this time Still no real indication from FPX towards B in the early stages. They're happy to focus mid, and Maiden again wants to play spoiler. He gets destroyed, but Farley quickly trades one back, and all across the map we're finding traction as Config's found two up towards short.
Wow. Double 20 seconds. Short. Yeah, the round is just beginning, and Rush has actually been taken down.
Farley, you crazy man.
If these double AWPs do anything else, this could be another 2v4 for the FPX trophy cabinet.
He's so close to this smoke. He's hearing these footsteps.
You can see they are paranoid about it, and they've doubled up here in middle.
They can't scope. Well, they can now. Mid to B, they're both here.
Yeah, and they're ready for it.
Oh,
it's going to hit the first, but they may not be ready for a second. They're worried about A. Steeko's already tucked into B. He hears them coming. They've got so much time, but they're rushing it.
They're not going to clear this.
He didn't. And no, with their backs turned, he hits the first. Config, but he gets it out in time. 4 frags from Config, and he is just cleaning up. It was a proper mess, but bucket and a mop gets it done. 6-6.
Yeah, respectable attempt there from FPX, right? Trying to use that window of time they had while kx was still making up their mind. If they ended up going A, yeah, you just save the double AWPs towards B. Here's Config just continuing to push forward. But yeah, you can see kx jumping in, no idea. They were spamming that smoke. You wouldn't be expecting both players in that situation to be over towards the B side.
Yeah,
so.
Inspired stuff. They are now, however, down to USPs, so we can all catch our breath and decelerate just a little bit.
Short players. Yes. They do have a flash.
Could be some utility damage. Ooh, tasty. Pad those stats. Config's about to get a rude awakening. Hello, lads. And goodbye, FPX. Sunny's managing to make it a little more costly. A USP and a P250 frag, respectively. Vertigo as a third, if we require it.
Interesting if we get to Vertigo. I think the game completely changes if we go that far. It's not that I don't think that Complexity can play Vertigo, it's just that I've liked some of the things I've seen from FPX, at least the core of the team on that map in the past. So if we go the distance, we might be on, but we need to get there first. Poison with the AWP, not barreling down mid this time. More nades over towards long in the early stages, and kx is going out here looking for blue bin control. He's going to find it. Oh, and he's actually sneaking out for this. Farley's not going to be ready for a play like this.
You might now. He knows he's going to be playing that close corner, and Farley catching the first, looking for a wild no-scope on the Tracer fire. Flash is so good. kx ate it too, though. It could have been a double punish, but instead it's just damage. Sticking around by the smoke, Sunny. Element of surprise, hoping that will catch them off guard, but Poison finds it just under the precipice of the smoke. Poison rocking this one. Double kill, puts them into control, puts them into damage control mode if you're Phoenix. I mean, you've got to find a way back in. 3 long, and they can park themselves up. Let's let Blame work his magic for info.
Yeah, he can go for a very, very late flank here. If they spend time just trying to deal with him, he makes a sound cue, maybe shoots a couple bullets. Might take that attention
This
away
is the
from
dream scenario for Blame's game. Oh, that did not work out for him. Slither gap into the site now with a crucial jewel. kx makes it look very quick and easy.
It might be a save call here, you know. I don't know how FPX get back into this round. Zen's having a look.
Molly Goose and a nade. This, oh, hang on. Not quite going to shape up as well as it could have. Thought that was destined for Zen's corner.
They're having a crack at this.
They are. He's actually dropped CT. They want to both approach this from the same angle, but what a tight line from Config. Again, staring at Elevator. We've seen him stuck here before. A different weapon. Now the M4, but same fate. Bomb will tick away. Maybe punishing Config and kx as they try and evade that radius. Looking for a good financial damage here. kx trapped on the site, bails himself out and will get away. In fact, that AWP might even blow his way. Won't be seeing too much of that. So 6 to the Complexity 8.
Yeah, the Complexity are looking very good here. I think when we consider the rounds that FPX have won, obviously we had Pistol, we had some aggression on those anti-ecos. They've been able to make aggressive maneuvers look good here, FPX, either in response or out the gate. And now that they have these scrappy buys, or this scrappy buy for the last round to play, 2 scouts, MP9, Deagle, and a Famus, might see some more of that aggression. A double pick mid, and Farley plucks Poison out of the air.
You were thinking about that one when you try and go to sleep.
They've given up long control, though, and this is the aggression I'm talking about. So not only were they facing mid, Madden's taken control off of that lining up these long cross smokes. Look at the window of time. Madden, if he keeps pushing, he might catch them with the pants down.
Ooh, Farley was caught mantling on the lip. Does inflict some damage.
Great nade.
Sends utility, converts it. He'll park himself around his own smoke. Stray bullet to his enemy here, but Maiden's flank, and he steadies his aim perfectly into the back of Config's head. It's only JKS. FPX set for 7 and keeping it damn close. It's impressive stuff. We'll be back with your second half of your second map of the very first game of ESL Pro League Season 13.
Hey Future Pros, what's this? Dust 2? It's back? I don't believe it. Well anyway, here is a T-sided smoke for long corner. To do the smoke, go up next to this wall as shown. Find the left broken brick. Once done so, jump and throw the smoke. Now you can take long control without the fear of getting up down. Good luck.
Waited all round long, looking there, and now falls way, but Malta might just be the saving. And now just Zipnik's left to find, but if one man is stealing the advantage, it's often him.
This is for the map. This is for the game. The smoke base commission. He gets the kill. Gets him off the bomb. The pistol's out. The P250 might just save Big once again. And he's got it all on his own.
And we are back, 8-7 on the half to Complexity on map number 2. Looking good for FPX, who have remained competitive throughout, and the double AWP setup on the CT side. Well, it was something to look at as they try to keep this series going. Frustration on the faces of many. But here we are, back underway and already in the server.
Okay, Blame has a little bit more info than he bargained for. Plenty of heads visible tons. Rush dips in as they flex and threaten for a mid to B, but it was only smoke and mirrors, or rather just steps and smokes. Up towards short it will be. 3 CTs to receive. Steeko late long. Blame has Config in tow. Poison there for the context on A. Good shooting. Oh, very clean shooting! Blame makes it so quick! Mows down 4 taps of his mouse. Hunting for the ace now. Somebody give it to him. It's only Steeko cowering in the blue bin, but Blame with the USP. Oh.
Absolute annihilation here.
Just over the molly as well. His vision was distorted, but clean as you like. Stiko denies, and Poison will put the bow on it. It was Blame to wrap it all up, though.
That was perfectly
Let's
done.
see that one again.
Oh, couldn't line up for him any better right there.
They're even all spread out, backward strafing, moving, but he just lines them up, knocks them down like damn Skittles.
I think that camera angle actually does it more justice than the first person.
Agreed.
View, right? Because we can't see a lot over the flames right there. And I was about to talk about the setup, how Poison's baiting for him. Poison was flashed. Poison didn't do anything. Blame just got to stand and shoot.
Oh, that is a disaster, and Blame is going to be running with that momentum.
And the memento.
And the memento.
Yeah,
all right.
He'll have that highlight after the game, don't you worry.
How's your Latin, Chad?
Not great.
All right.
Dead language. Okay, well.
Bang.
They're already down a man, Alex.
Yeah, but Stiko, the hero of this FPX roster, he certainly has been on Dust 2. A lot of impact found by him, this time with the Scout.
Well, they have a bit of...
Oh, hello.
That room's gone. I was going to say, a bit of room towards mid. Well, Rush is hearing all of this.
Poison's probably got too much on his plate. He's been allowed to reposition. I was just throwing so much credit towards Stiko, but now Poison's holding them at the door. He's making this so costly for anyone that wants to cross to site.
Oh, Zen, how did you get here?
What
is going on?
Outdoors, catches the rotate, 1 CT. Rush now has to find Zen. Oh, he's screwed. Yeah, Config wraps that one up, but nice little wrap. Nice work from Zen to at least punish on the rotate. They get the bomb down.
So after my little gaff in the first half where it was actually the CTs that threw that smoke, the Ts threw it right there. So I want to make sure that I'm bailing myself out here. You'll see it from Rush's POV as he starts to push up. And this smoke that's just at the lip of the site there to the right, that was thrown by the Ts, and you could see what that meant for Poison. I can't believe how many chances Poison had to reposition, and Stiko wasn't shooting. It was almost like, well, I can see you, and you can see me. Are we going to shoot at each other?
Give me a second.
Yeah, let me line it up,
Get
stand
comfortable.
still.
Got to test the wind. Hang on. Yeah.
Felt perfect.
A little to the left.
But now FPX will be just down to what is either going to be a Galil buy or some upgraded pistols. Now, if they want the AWP for Farley, they will have to take the upgraded pistol option, and that's what they're going to go for here. So Madden into a Deagle, Zen onto that Tech 9. Deagle's being brought in for the remainder of the squad and a little bit of utility to work with. So considering how dicey that round got, maybe FPX could get something done this time. Now, opening kill again. Poison's found it towards long, but it wasn't a problem last round. So overcoming this, FPX will regroup and focus towards middle.
Blame's off angle though.
So cheeky, man.
You know you're not going to check in that on a round like this.
It's insane that he's playing a position like that as the in-game leader on his own. Look, there's nobody can trade him.
Oh, get out of the server, boys. Blame's here, and he is just making it look so easy. Contest short, like we don't want them to have short control. As an in-game leader, I'll just make sure. I'll just make sure they can't take short.
Boys, don't worry about short, I got it. And through the smoke as well. So that's the round. JKS and Poison combining for the final two. 11-7 now. Now, we don't want to see something happen like we did on Nuke. The first half, competitive 10-5 on Nuke. That's pretty good. 8-7 here. That's pretty good as well. Yeah. But if Complexity just really take the belt off here and show them how it's done, then we have some bigger problems because the scoreline was convincing, but the highlights we've seen in this second half from Blame F alone are enough to be very scary.
Yeah, I need to get Blame's settings because he can see over all of these smokes.
All right, well, Config jumping over. Didn't see too much aggression. Farley trying his luck again. Thinks better of it.
Yeah, don't blame him. Don't blame him at all. It's funny, actually. You know, I've noticed this is going to sound such nuanced stuff, but I've noticed that like some players struggle when they want to contest long early on that blue bin. And it seems like Rush has actually found a solution in not trying to mantle up on that box, because a lot of times you get caught mantling on that box to tuck in.
Awkward timings for sure.
He's found a nice alternative just by hiding his model and hoping the slither gap of his body.
Big deal. If Zen goes down, he has the bomb.
Yeah, true, and he's so detached from the pack.
So it means he has to drop back T-spawn, and now Poison has this covered. Oh dear.
They're doing their due diligence.
Oh dear, that's the bomb.
That's a lot of info. Quick look at this panic stations from everyone.
Oh, Rush is pushing.
And he's pushing just to catch Stiko with
Farley.
they've got knives in their hands. This is so naughty.
Dear.
Oh, and a double. Oh, brutality.
Oh, they just funneled them. The center of the map. You can have it, boys. We'll take the extremities. We'll take the bomb, and now it's just Sunny.
Oh, if you're Zen, you feel like you've been booked there.
It looked like a bit of a tit.
Yeah.
clean sweep as well. Everybody surviving. A-Caves upgraded for free, 3 of which are picked up. Couldn't have gone any better for Complexity right there. And now we really do have the warning bells going off.
So he wasn't... Oh, he was fully pre-aiming it. Nice work from Config. And I mean, the timing on Rush's peak could not have been better.
This looks tantalizing. Let me tell you how stressed Rush is in that moment. Just like there's 2 players not facing...
They're not looking at me.
Not mess this up.
They're not looking at me. And one of them's an AWP. Just do not give him a chance to swing around and have another go. Not anymore, though. Farley downgraded to the Early Learning Center first AWP.
Yeah, it's got the training wheels on that one.
Yep, babies
faster,
first.
It's cheaper. Okay.
I think
yeah?
chances of this one going anywhere other than Complexity does really hinge on a Deagle rather than that Scout. So Stiko has been having a lot of impact, and they baited out Blame's position. I do think the Complexity setup at the moment does need to be pushed and poked and prodded before you commit. That's the impact we were waiting for. Stiko shuts down the CT player, and he's even pre-aiming for JKS should he toe over the line.
Now they have a kill, the smoke and the flash starts to become interesting on Sunny's kit. They can pull a rotation here or at least keep players busy on their respective sites. Complexity are going to have a hard time crossing back across mid. So the run boost looks good. The nade looks great, though.
It does. Destined for greatness and so much damage.
Oh, get out.
They've messed up the run boost. There's flames on the floor. They're forced forwards. It's chaos. They haven't gone down. Stiko with a scrap of L tucked into Gandalf, and his element of surprise does bait a shot. Yeah, it's converted. Poison goes down due to the distraction, and it could enable a plant, if not more.
Could enable the round win. Look at the position of Maiden still. So pushing through doors, they're going to have to clear him out. Sure, he's on a scrap of HP, but the Deagle to the belly. Rush, if he clears doors and sees nothing home, eventually he'll leave this position. It all comes down to the patience of Zen. Oh, he's clearing it. Rush.
True to Zen's name, he does bide his time.
Wow.
Rush. So much patience, but still loses his jewel, and it looks like FPX have done it completely. Taking the round off the back of Deagles and Kevlar. This was not the full investment. And it was Stiko, no less, to open things up as well. So spectacular stuff, some spectacular scavenging. They'll take AKs and AWPs for their trouble.
JKS is hearing all of this right now.
Thank you very much. Could not have asked for a better round to get yourself back into a competitive game.
Yeah, their first round here as well in the second half, right? So all in all, when you look at the way that they're able to put that one together, it was just off some good individual shots here. Now, Blame F kind of baited into that situation. He had a teammate alley-oop him, and this is where you would think it's all over, right? You're getting mollied, Stiko knows he has to go forward, Farley knows he has to go back. The fact he gets all that room and still a kill is insane, and then it is the patience of Zen. So you could see Complexity understood what they were up against. They just couldn't land those shots when they were down in the number disadvantage.
Now, I don't know if it was ever a gimmick or if it actually was like rooted in some sort of, you know, Buddhist culture, but I remember seeing like there was a big craze of those small little sand pits that people had on their desks. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Oh yeah, where you rake them.
Yeah, you just had like a wooden rake and a...
Raking is therapeutic.
A square of sand. Like a Newton's cradle, but much cheaper to produce.
I'm a fan of raking things, digging holes, doing all that stuff.
A distinct lack of physical labor. My hands could not be any softer, Chad. I'll be honest. Got those Gamer Boy hands.
Yeah, I'm not sure how we fix that, to be honest.
Take me outside. Let's dig some holes. Ooh, Stiko digging himself out of a hole. Let's rush down. Long open. Short also open for business. It looks like Blame F is trying to close things, but it's temporary. They line up their util. This could be a full burst. Farley's responsible for config, and that's not an easy duel.
Oh,
what
no.
on earth? Not an easy duel, but...
They're going straight to B here. They know there's 2 nades just thrown on A. They can isolate one player on that B bomb site.
It's JKS though, dude, and he's got an AWP. Flash and a nade. What are your choices here, Mr. Savage? Can you live up to that last name? Blame F's made it even more promising as he manages to provide some support. JKS tested. Passing with flying colors. He can't mantle out of the flames. He will fall, but he's made it costly. He's made it doable for those super detached members, Poison and Blame. Sunny, however, is locking this rotate down. If Blame...
He's been spotted!
He's been spotted! Awkward now for Sunny. He's found Poison. It's traded. We do have the one-on-one. Molly available and a missed shot from Stiko. Oh my goodness.
He's going through.
What are his options? What are your options? Blame F, a man possessed.
What is that?
He pushes straight through it, smart as hell. He did not want, as the smoke faded, Stiko to challenge. if you're playing close doors, God, Stiko's. I want to know what his POV looked like. You know,
smoke fading, Molotov hits the ground.
You're like, he's pushed me.
What?
This was a really quick and alert play from Farley. JKS making this whole round even remotely competitive, and this push. Like, Stiko's just like, he's not coming, is he? Oh, and before he can finish the sentence, there's a bullet in his mouth.
I don't, like, I guess it surprised Stiko as much as it did us, right?
It's like the equivalent of throwing your AWP over the wall.
Oh, Config's dead.
And so Sunny.
Okay.
Thanks for tuning in to the catch-up.
And the AWPs, they're killing people right now.
Okay, Blame's doing his usual angle. I expect that this should be more favorable for someone like Stiko now, but he's got an AK this time.
Oh, the dink.
Nuisance, dude.
Dink.
And then he nades your socks off as well. Maiden, however, fills the feed for the FPX gang. Farley's into the site, and it does spell trouble for Cole. Can't see a way back into this. If they find Zen,
problems.
They'll at least be able to save long.
The bomb wasn't even down, and we're in a 3-on-3.
Rush has been heard. This one just have to be accept of your fate.
Yeah, I think Complexity are playing the long game here because this is pretty tantalizing to go for. Look at all the nades on Blame, look at all the nades on Poison. They knew that they lost B. It's a hard bomb site to retake, but after finding the lurk kill, maybe it felt doable. Stiko's now turned into a bit of a lurk here to take away some of these guns. The bank isn't built at this point for Complexity, so a kill here would be fantastic. Yeah, low HP. Is he thinking better of this? Because the money's needed on both sides here. So Stiko's not going to push the issue, not going to force the issue. Bomb will go off. 9 rounds now for FPX. That's going to be their second here in the second half. And that was wild, right? So you have to think about everything that happened. FPX get the kill on Config, but they still continue to go long for territory. And they lose a frag there as well, but gain some space. This is that opening from Farley. And Config, nothing you can do about that, right? Completely through the smoke. They're dropping utility to get that clean cross. JKS isolated on B, very difficult because they were fighting long, so there was really no support structure for him. Rush almost got there in time. Very, very interesting round, and I think that's the type of Counter-Strike we might be expecting from these teams who have had newer roster updates, right?
Okay,
You've got the likes of Heroik in the mix, OG have made a change, Renegades, obviously with the Dexter removal, him going to Mouse Sports, they've added an Alistair. So there's a lot of, I think there's a lot of situations that might be a bit more flux or a bit more, as we like to label it, scrimmy throughout this group. Something like that is just really quite hard to quantify with all the fights going on, right? You'd have to go back and break them down on their own merit. And
I'll kind of reiterate as well that, you know, FPX have been kind of chomping at the bit to have an opportunity to play against these teams regularly.
Yeah.
They felt, you know, that they were kind of the bridesmaid and not the bride in many opportunities coming into the later stages of 2020, you know, posting good results, holding a top 30 world rank and still not being able to acquire those invites. So this is a proving ground for them. The fact that they are now here on basis and virtue of their ESL world ranking, and they're up against big scalps like Complexity. If you can start doing damage in this group, it's going to really just hammer your point home even more.
Oof. Yeah, it's definitely a good group to do it in as well with all the roster instability of other teams. It's not just you. As Farley goes down, Poison getting the better of him at the doors.
Yeah, two very promising AWPers, but Poison has not only found the first, but he's also put the bomb loose, and Stiko caught by Rush, just jiggling on that offside. Peeks into him on that right eye. Blame, 2 to find here, and oh, he's already got info and they were flashed. It's perfect if he can just build upon it. His teammates putting some serious suppressing fire downrange. Oh, and he's knocked off another head. We saw how clean he was looking today. Blame definitely looking like the fragging force we know he can be. Zen quite the opposite. Missed 2 shots there between the wickets. I don't think he's going to get a chance at a third. Oh no, you meanie. You big meanie.
Oh, dearie me. Okay, well, I think that kind of sums up how this second map is going. 14-9 now, just 2 more needed for Complexity. And I want to kind of give a little bit of understanding for people playing at home. When they're watching a lot of these fights and you're seeing Blame very passive on the round, like, why isn't he fighting when they're coming out short? The segments in which these players fight with these days has really come down to the minutiae, right? It's the tiniest of details. Where do I have an advantage? If I lose this territory, is it better to catch them in limbo? It's really good scenes to watch. As we get back underway with round number 24, out long and Rush.
He's so dead. Nope, never mind. The vision was gone for everyone alike. And now a second found for Rush. Bombs loose. And that spells trouble. Re-smokes on top. Just get out of there.
Oh dear, that was their opening gambit and really their only move. Check it out, 2 players down, 3 bits of utility left, 2 smokes and a Molotov is all they take into the remainder of round 24. Another smoke dropped on the doors. The players from B haven't even crossed for complexity just yet, so they're not giving away any freebies here on rotation. Eventually, they'll be able to get across and help this on out, but FPX need to find kills somewhere to try and destabilize this, because you can see Turtle on in the bomb now is 3 players from complexity just locking it down.
Poison. Poised. Finds himself his first, and does look like just the 2 remaining members of FPX are almost accepting their fate. With the bomb lost there, like, you really have no other options. Someone's got to take this fight, someone's got to have a look, and yeah, likely outcome is found. And talking of likely outcome, this is going to put 6 match points for complexity and their debut here at Pro League.
Oh dear. I think when we look at this group overall, Complexity and Big are the 2 heavy hitters, the 2 favorite names, but I think just because of how in flux Counter-Strike is at the moment and how we haven't necessarily been seeing the greatest results off of those 2 names, we may see a few upsets. Not to be the case here with FPX today, it seems, unless they want to pull off a heroic comeback. And now, well, even looking for a little bit more information. So flashed on through, 5 seconds left, no more threat, 5 players stay alive again, and Complexity, they are teed up to close this one out in quite quick fashion. And we do have more games today. Heroik Renegades next. Towards the tail end of the day will be Big versus OG.
Yeah, you get to see new look Heroik as well. If you haven't been keeping your finger directly on the pulse, you may have missed some of the earlier showings. Of course, Heroik battling to compete and what's the word? Qualify for DreamHack Masters. That was going on yesterday. You got to see a little glimpse of them against Cloud9 with some very flashy AWPing coming out of Cadian. 6 match points. Maiden takes some initiative and some aggression, and he's wormed his way quite aggressively through these smokes, but as it fades, he's kind of in no man's land. This could feel horrible. There's barbed wire and corpses and dead horses, and Zen's dug himself out of trouble. Only one though, Rush ready for the fade, and it's Maiden who saves the day. If he gets another, we're cooking. Poison us off the gas and shuts it down with a clean 2-piece. Steeko, however, finding one on the lurk and the rotate. They will start to pivot to B. Config well aware, imagine if he hit it. Treating his AK like a sniper, but that is the bomb running up, Cat, so I don't know what they'll do with this info. Config fends them off.
It's kept busy at least.
Oh, nice moves. There's no way Steeko's expecting the elevated angle. Like, there's so many options that aren't that. Oh! Opens it up, Steeko! The farmer farms. Saves the day, bomb down. Tough one for Poison.
They don't know he's here though. He's made lots of steps and he's already made it into tunnels behind them. They're locked on in and he scoped on in. Sunny will find the kill. And yeah, Steeko, the savior right there, pulling him out. You all right?
Did I sneeze so loud it unmuted?
I think you sneezed so loud it came through my mic.
Oh, I'm sorry, everyone. Whoa, that was... I actually felt like I had a grenade inside of me.
Left your body.
Whoa.
Getting the ghosts out.
Gesundheit, as they say in Deutschland.
What do they say in Malta? We haven't learned any Maltese and we've lived there for 2 years.
It's terrible. It's actually, we need to be better. Like, the fact that we still say the sign names when we get, like, you know, giving directions like a tourist would. Like, San Gillian.
Let's keep it that way, mate. Yeah. Let's keep it that way. Is Farley really wanting to take the fight to mid doors, and JKS this time will pip him at the post.
Looking good for Cole, and even worse for FPX as they lose Maiden. Poison's missed his shot. Maybe there's a little crack in this dark, bleak cloud starting to gather above the Phoenix. Rush has been very consistent. I've actually been really impressed by what he's provided. He's done everything his team has required of him. You can see his patience and experience. Info tucked into Goose. Something for Sunny to build off of, and the nade won't do enough damage, but Blame's flank will. And so Zen, yeah. A lot asked of the Finn.
Well, Group A starts with a bang, and it's going to be on the side of Complexity. They pick up this first one 2-0, pretty convincingly, all things considered. FPX showing some fight on Dust 2, but it's just not enough to get it done for the day. Yanko and I, being Trace, will be breaking it down for you.
I don't think it starts with a bang, Trace. I think it starts with a yeehaw.
Yeah?
This Complexity is from Dallas, right?
Oh, yeah, true.
I figured that's, but you should be doing this. You're the American.
Yeah, but the yeehaw thing, man, I don't know.
Well, that's your, you're
probably
from the South.
I could probably give it a pretty mean one, but I don't know. You mean?
Yeah, we'll save it for later. Yeehaw! We'll just do it now. That's what I want.
We do it live.
Yeah, we'll do it live. Yeah, I mean, rough one for FPX, right? Obviously playing with a stand-in for now. You know, you saw some of the missed timings, some of the rounds with advantages that they've lost, some miscommunication as well in their game. And, Complexity just basically took care of business. This is what you expected from them coming into this one, right? A nice, clean win. And yeah, they had another real solid game all around.
Yeah, it's a rough go at it here for FPX to start off in this light. And, in other ways, we know some of the troublesome stuff that they have going on behind the scenes in terms of just trying to find someone to drive the boat,
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, the main thing for them is try to, find a way to stay motivated, to stay hungry, right? To try to figure out. You still have good players. Like, you look at how they play. It's not bad, right? It's like the small things that ruin some crucial rounds for them. I still think they can get a couple of wins, with some lucky results, maybe a little bit. They could sneak their way into that third position. And with each day, they get a little bit more experience with this 5. So they're still not out of it, but by any stretch of the imagination. But, the most important thing is not to get too jaded by the whole fact that you're playing with another player, a different player again, and that, not everything is going according to plan.
Well, Blame F, right? We know that he is driving that boat that we just talked about, at least over for the Complexity side. And when we talk about Blame F, you kind of have to ask him all the questions that you possibly could, Yanko. So why don't we do that? Why don't we bring Blame F into the fold right now? We should have him on the line waiting for us. Blame, are you here?
Nice.
Hello?
Hey.
There you go.
Yeah. Just a little.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Can you hear us?
Oh, okay. Yeah, I can hear you. It's perfectly fine.
Awesome. Look, this is probably what you expected coming into today, knowing some of the problems that FPX are having. But really and truly, when JKS picks up the op, does that mean it's all gone pretty well?
Yeah, we actually made a couple role changes in the team. So he's starting to be the secondary AWP on more maps. So that's honestly nothing new for us. Like he's doing in practice all the time. It's more like he's getting more space and that stuff. So yeah, it's not going to be an uncommon thing going forward.
Yeah, I also noticed on Nuke, you swapped him from ramp. He's playing A now. Config is on ramp. Were these some of the changes that you felt, was this because of some of the results that you had, obviously not making it to the Katowice main event? Or is it just something that the players felt more natural if they swapped some roles around?
It's not like just because we lost the event. Of course, we did it. I think it's more like after we lost Katowice, the plane or what it was called, like we actually had, like I think it was 1.5 weeks of like only practice, so we had time to make those changes, whereas before we hadn't really had time to do it. So yeah, I think it was just like there were some people that wasn't really like too happy about the position, like didn't like it to hold the position, and then we just tried to like swap it around and see like if it gave a new look on the map, and it's going better since then, I think, on the maps.
Well, it's got to be going a lot better now that, you have a player like Poison back in. It seems like you guys have the team that you initially wanted to play with. So talk to me a little bit about getting back in the saddle for that.
Yeah, just really happy to have Poison back. He's such a good teammate. He's such a good player, and I think he just fits very, very well in the system of the team. Like he fits very well with the personalities in the team. Like everyone loves him, and he creates a lot of space for the team, and he doesn't take a lot of space away from the other players. And he's just like such a good teammate. He's good at being aggressive with the AWP when he needs to. He's good at I think there was one point where he wasn't good at being passive, but now he's like worked a lot on that. So he's also being a good like AWP when he has to stay passive on the map. So I think just like overall, like Poison just such a good AWP that when you have him on the team, it's just like the entire team's just going to be like lifted up by that.
Yeah, and he had a great series here. What would you say as the in-game leader, where the team is at now? Or do you think like with this week and a half that you had the extra time to practice that you're, close to 100% and that we can see your best face, so to speak? Or do you feel like there's still things that you need to iron out and that, you need a little bit more time to get to where you want to be as a team?
I mean, it always sucks to have to say like, like we're ready, but I feel like we're at the point now, like we have had a couple tournaments. We had like a period with stand-ins, and we had a period where Justin came into the team. He was a new player, so we have had this period where we had all of these excuses. But I think it's time now for us to perform. You know, like I don't think we can keep going forward and saying like it's because of this, or like we just got poisoned back, or like we played with stand-in. Like I think now is actually time to show what we can do. And we worked a lot in this practice time we just had on our weak maps. So I feel really comfortable on pretty much all the map right now. So we don't have those like weak maps we cannot play as we did in the past, at least in practice. So yeah, I think like now it's time for us to perform and show how good we can be. Like there's not going to be any excuses in the next couple of tournaments. If we do bad, it's on us, and there's no excuses for it.
Yeah, interesting. It's kind of like an ownership right there. We kind of like that.
We like that.
Hey, last question I'm going to have for you is this, man. For the rest of Group A, you know, we're looking at Big, Heroik, OG, Renegades. Outside of you guys, you've just beaten FPX. Who else do you have your eye on in this group?
I mean, it's really hard because a lot of the teams have new players, but I think Heroik is always like a really hard team to play against. They're a really, really good team, and they play great, and they have so many like insane players individually as well. So they're always hard to play against. And I think we lost like the last 2 times we played them. So I would say like Heroik is, if I had to like make one of the favorites in the group, it would probably be Heroik. But again, it's always hard when you don't have much information on the teams you're playing because they're playing with new players. But yeah, I think Heroik is a good team.
Cool, man. Well, thanks for the insight, and moreover, congratulations. I'm sure we'll see you around.
Thank you.
Cool. I like that, what he said right there, Yanko. I'll just throw it out there. He said, you know what? It's time to shine, or there's no excuses. It's on us.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I asked him, right? Because you always, as an in-game leader or whatever, or as a part of the team, you feel like, yeah, we just need like one more week to iron out like these things, get better on a map or two, right? To be at a place where we feel we're really comfortable going against anyone. And that's what I want to know. Do they feel like they're there right now? Or is there like another thing? So that's great to hear, because if that's how they feel, then they're definitely the favorite to win this group, you know, and they can do some damage in the whole tournament.
They have somewhere to run. They have something in terms of a foundation, kind of like we were talking about in the pre-match. Now, let's talk about the match just a little bit further and kind of a round that went sideways, Yanko.
Yeah, it was a 2-0, so we have a bit of time here, right? This is a bit of a pet peeve of mine also. There's a thing I really dislike here that has happened. So this is a gun round, 5v3 round for FPX. You're going to see it. Actually, first, here's a cool little move from Complexity to push into long. So Rush has an HE that he's going to throw, and right after that, Poison's going to throw a flash. So, you know, the sound masks it a little bit. They also go for a surprise. You see the nade does 50 damage on Stiko. He still gets a kill. So that's a 5v4 right there. We see the majority of FPX is grouping for that short execute right now. Farlig holding rotation here from Xbox, and he is actually going to get the second kill on config, right? So now they're in a 5v3. And here's the important part, right? I'm going to pause right here. So because of the names, right, they know they killed the long player, they killed the mid to B player. So most likely 2 guys A, 1 guys B. Best call at this point, we can just go into a B split. But because they're already throwing nades A, and they're like, okay, Zen, we're going to leave you here to lurk Cat, basically, right, while we go into the mid to B split. Here it's important to note why this is going to be important later. Sunny has a flash here, and he's just going to throw it into CT, which is a bit of a waste. And they're like, okay, we're just going to hold rotation with Sunny and go back towards B on that one guy. Like, usually you have the upper hold this rotation, kind of just from Xbox, right? And the guns are going there to trade, but either way, it's all right. Towards the B side, we have JKS all the way back plat with the op, and he's going to get 2 kills. And Sunny is, I'm going to play it out so you can see it. So Sunny is stuck all the way here. So now all of a sudden they're in a 2v2 and they can't play together. And I hate this. Like when a player like goes, like, why don't you play with your team here? Like, it's okay, you stayed mid, no one pushed through the CT smoke, you wasted the flash. Imagine if he had this flash for B.
Yeah.
Like, as his team is going, he just throws a deep flash right in front of Xbox or anywhere.
Would have got JKS,
somewhere.
100%.
Like, you get him, like, you get the easy trade. Now he's stuck here waiting for a kill. Like, he's going to get 1 kill eventually, which he shouldn't get either, because Blame spots him, and then they could have double peeked him. He's lucky to get the kill on Poison, right? Like, just go up the ramp. If he is up window, like, sure, JKS can move all the way back plat, so you can't see him from window. But like, if he's playing close to the box, you can kill him from window as well and get the trade, right? You already have Zen on Cat, who's lurking. Why do you have 2 lurkers when there's 1 guy on the site? And now they have 3 guys coming from the tunnel. So it's basically, you have the numbers advantage doesn't mean a whole lot, right? Because your whole team is coming from 1 narrow choke point. And sure, Blame does the crazy thing in the end with the molly and wins the clutch. But you know, that round should have been like clean for FPX, and they ended up losing it, right? Like, sure, people have different play styles. They lurk in different ways. Like, you know, maybe his team is fine with it or whatever. But I always used to tell players, listen, I don't want you doing that. Like, just go with the team. Like, because if things go wrong, all of a sudden you're completely out of position. You can't help your team. Even if he goes window and dies, right, to the upper, well, Farlig now holds him from tunnels, and then he can't get another kill, right?
Drawing some attention, yeah.
So just like do what's best for the team. Don't try. I think this is maybe a bit of rust. You know, he's just been playing pugs, FPL, whatever for the last couple of months, and you know, maybe that's just a bit stuck with a couple of games. We won't be seeing that, but yeah, I don't know. I just hate that.
Yeah, you really got fired up over that one. You okay, man?
Yeah, man. Like, it's just PTSD. It's coming back, you know?
Oh, dear. Well, don't worry. They've got 5 guys opening in Cologne today. Speaking of which, there are 5 guys who took an L today, and that would be Fun plus Phoenix. So we can take a look at the Group A brackets, or at least the group, and just see how it looks. Now, albeit there are a lot of zeros because there's a lot of matches to be played. Who would have known? Complexity. So far, 1-0. FPX dropping to 0-1. And then you got the big question mark right there in between.
Yeah, I mean, as I said, I think FPX can still, I mean, obviously Renegades is, you know, the weakest team in this group, but now they've had a couple of weeks in Europe themselves to kind of get acquainted with the meta, you know, brush up on their individual skills a little bit as well. So I'm looking forward to see what they can do. I remember in that play-in, you know, they had a 16-14 game against Mouse where they had a big lead too. Was it overtime? I think it was 16-4. I don't remember. But it was a really close game, right? So they could have taken a scalp right there. And I'm sure, you know, you'll see teams picking off wins here and there just to ruin other people's plans.
Yeah, and that's what the Pro League's all about, making people sweat to the very last match in the very last round. For us, that was the last round. We're going to be going to a break, an extended one at that. Then we come back with Heroik and Renegades in our next best of 3 here for the ESL Pro League Season 13.
Love it, you wear it. What's your style? Get your merch at shop.eslgaming.com.
I think the new format for EPL, the round robin groups, they definitely put a little bit of a pressure on the newer lineups in terms of, you know, you have to prepare more maps and strengthen your map pool because you're going to face probably a variety of opponents with different styles. They're going to clash, probably also with a different approach, considering there are teams coming from abroad, basically outside of Europe. So you need to adapt to that as well, as we have in the group Renegades. So definitely new lineups are going to have a tough time in a veto, but I think at the same time, all players, every player in EPL is capable of, playing great Counter-Strike. And even if you lose the veto, that team who lost the veto, they can beat the other team 2-0 if they, hit their shots and they play their strats right and they prepare a better game plan. So it's all coming down really to, yes, there's a disadvantage, but at the same time, the disadvantage might play into your hands if you have a good day and you just manage to be on fire.
be the saving. And now just Zipnik's left to find. But if one man is stealing and the advantage is off than him.
It's all on Fearsome. This is for the map. This is for the game. The smoke base coming. He gets the kill. He gets him off the bomb. The pistol's out. The P250 might just save Big once again. And he's got it all on his own.
Incredible fourth frag.
This could be the ticket for Astralis. These grenades could do all of the work for them. 3 of them going over the wall, 1 on Exist, 1 on Crims. Everybody's catching fire. Twist goes down and there it is.
Oh. What the That's not an execute. Be ready for that, be ready for that. Should be an easy to kill on device.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't think he does the same, like, I don't know.
Surely he does.
What the
He's cheating. You wanna join, Rene?
I need someone to join.
You join.
Okay, let's play Rogue here.
Okay.
Just go play Kyle's. I'm gonna play first boxes, okay?
Yeah, but I don't think this works, but okay. I will go CT and flash for you, okay?
Okay.
When you hear.
Yes, go deep CT. Go deep CT.
Flash. He's just rushing. I have a flash. I'm gonna be ready with a flash.
Yeah, do that.
Is it like this much?
That doesn't look good.
I'll smoke soon.
No, it's up.
I'll smoke
like this?
soon.
Up. Yeah.
No,
I'll smoke now.
Yeah, down. Yeah.
I'm just gonna
I still have an 8.
It's coming.
Oh no!
Flashing.
Rotating.
Oh, flash.
Oh no. No, what?
Oh my!
I think I have the idea. I think we need to stand with flashes for each other.
Flash!
Flash!
He's just coming again!
Nice and clean, clean. What about doing some, do some 80s out banana, like,
yeah.
Glaive 80s?
Yeah. Come, let's do Glaive 80s. They're gonna execute at like 30 seconds left.
On timing.
Yeah. Smoke right after the 80s.
Oh,
what the f***?
I'm nading.
You nade?
Yeah, nade.
Ah! Smoke!
Oh,
I'm gonna have a flash for you.
Okay.
Yeah?
Ready?
Yeah!
Flash!
Flashing! Hey.
Oh, one more! You have to one.
No!
My turn. I'm back.
Okay, surely 3 people can do this.
I got an off now.
Just gonna kill device. Honestly, just kill device.
I'm just gonna hold him.
Yeah.
No way he's faster than me.
I'm gonna play coils with the Apex flash, okay?
Why is he not coming?
Is he not coming?
No.
Or if you got 3 in, or what?
Yeah, maybe. Oh, CT!
He's coming now. CT!
What?
What the? Yes, sir.
Over the roof or just to the left?
Yeah.
Flash to the left.
Oh, they're jumping behind the wall.
No, I don't have one. No, we need to play
over
safe.
peak.
You have
flash.
I'm gonna smoke.
No.
They're rushing.
No.
What the fuck?
He's slow this time or what? Oh, there he is.
Nice. They're executing now.
They're executing now.
I'm gonna smoke my molly.
They haven't swung the city yet. Just call flash now. Flash. I have one more.
Dead.
I have one more. Flash.
Inside the third box, maybe?
Like, last. Cool.
I will shoot him. No, hit left.
Hiding.
Yeah. Nice.
We did it.
Nice, guys.
Hey Future Pros, back with a more complex pro tip today which will help you establish presence at long on Dust 2. To this execute you will need 2 Future Pros. The utility required will be 2 smokes and 1 optional flash for this take. Future Pro number 1. To throw your smoke, you will need to line up with this metal bracket. Then find this corner and aim your crosshair so it lines up with the satellite antenna. Then throw. Future Pro number 2. You will need to line yourself up with this dark spot in the shadow of the car. Aim upwards and find the gap in the palm trees. Then position your crosshair so you're aiming just above that gap and throw. Optional Future Pro number 3. If you want to feel like a part of the team, you can stand at the back of the car and line up this flash towards the top of the doors, which will help your teammates get out of long. If the smokes have been thrown correctly, this will help you segment long and fully take control of pit.
In one of the most legendary arenas that esports has ever created, delegates from around the world have met on this stage, on this common ground, with one goal and one mission. Only one team will come out victorious, where only one team will come out as the Intel Extreme Masters Katowice 2020 champions.
JW gonna go for more and he's got it. You have to stop them right now if you're 100 Thieves. If this keeps going, it's only gonna get worse. Crips he just swept the entire horizon with that AK-47. JW now, he sees the shadow. There's the no-scope, and I think they're gonna do it! JW over the top!
Low on health, JKS. He's got the creek. He needs to put it in. A headshot to take him down. Nice triple for JKS. This should not be a winnable round for him. He's so low already. JKS on the other side. One bullet will. Oh!
No way!
19 to 16 trims. A godlike clutch.
This one is going to deliver. Let's get into the action. Na'Vi starting on the T side here.
To get away, but Simple actually catching a bullet in the meantime. Electronics farming frags. Just perfecto and Simple. He needs a multi-kill. First found. Twist aggressing. They have to double peek. He's getting a shot. He's hitting another one. Simple. No! Simple. That's unbelievable. Na'Vi are up to the semi-finals and they smash the curse.
Na'Vi have had the best player in the world for some time now, but they haven't had a team that he can believe, and that has definitely changed. This is their biggest test so far. Astralis are waiting.
This opens things up. And remember, Golden isn't playing this B bomb site. They might have thought that there'd be only one player here.
And it just continues. Coming. Oh no! How many does he have him even around?
He saw him win one against Liquid versus 4. He's only got to fight one and he's done it again.
Now, can he get the bomb plant? Kenny's on the one side there. That Krieg, I don't know if it's enough to buy them this round. He's so low on health. If they knew how low he was, they'd just be using the pistols. Hunter, they didn't check the corner, and a big double spray coming through on the Krieg. He turns 180.
Kriegs pulled out by the Astralis squad. Blamey! Ridiculous!
Welcome to the Intel Extreme Masters 2020 Katowice Grand Finals. It's time to see the two teams still standing tear each other apart for the first ESL Pro Tour Masters Championship.
Na'Vi has never won an IM Katowice. Simple has never won an IM Katowice. Today, they take that stage to change that fact.
Next are turning. He needs 2 more headshots. There's the one. The follow-up, and he gets it. A great triple here for the captain of G2. Will buy them a 9th round.
Unlike anything the Spodek has seen before. What a beautiful story of young talent from the CIS region finally finding the right home in Na'Vi.
I'll show you how it's done. There's no sight we go inside. The man he is the one. You build your walls of faith in God. They never come around. Then wonder why we all defy the burden to be born. We're coming home with a mission to bring an end to a terrible land. We are here to your mission. We are many of one. We're coming home with a mission to tear you down from your undeserved throne. We can take your conviction. We are many of one. You may call it a virus, but we call it the antidote. It's an answer to silence. The future is here to revolt. It's the adrenaline running through my gait. It gets me high, high, high. Got no time to waste. Ain't got time for small talk. I tell you the truth. I'm faster than you. I'ma tell you the truth. Not in it to lose. Just faster than you. Look into my eyes. I'm not afraid. Take over my mind till it fades. Like a medicine, it keeps me safe. This neon lights lead the way. Ain't got time for small talk. I tell you the truth. I'm faster than you. I'ma tell you the truth. Not in it to lose. Just faster than you. Faster than you. I tell you the truth. I'm faster than you. I'ma tell you the truth. Not in it to lose. Just faster than you. I tell you the truth. Just faster than you. Just faster than you. Glasses on, my hoodie's right. Break the door, give me side eyes. Are you feeling yours? Cause I'm feeling mine. Slide back to the future, got my own time. You're sipping dope to feel right. Got my own high, don't ignore lies. Sneaky bitches never ever act with zone eyes. Alright. You can tell me nothing. Come back when you got something to say. Just put the volume up, man. Take a seat in the back, yeah. You can tell me nothing. Come back when you got something to say. Just put the volume up, man. Take a seat in the back, yeah. Alright, hot damn. Not worrying about man's got a plan. It's not really about the dough, got a time frame. Matter of fact, about to blow up the whole thing. So good, hell, I'm all fine. Got a sweet little ooh, and it's all mine. My shoe games, class high, hit it all the time. You can tell me nothing. Come back when you got something to say. Just put the volume up, man. I'ma go get 'em. No time looking back, every day gotta do better. I'ma go get 'em. Blow the roof off for I really want to see, now go tell 'em. About to touch the sky, no helmet. Preparing myself on top, no weapons. On my own, I stop caring. Cause they keep telling me you can tell me nothing. Come back when you got something to say. Just put the volume up, man. Take a seat in the back, yeah. You can tell me nothing. Come back when you got something to say. Just put the volume up, man. Take a seat in the back, yeah. got a feeling that it's just begun. It's my I got a feeling that it's just begun. It's my I got a feeling that it's just begun. Oh, can you hear me? I think I'm still alive. High up in the clouds and I'm never gonna come back, never gonna come back down.
2015 was the prime of the famous Polish Golden Five, and the tournament in Cologne would be no different for Taz and his crew. At least not until the semifinals, where the Poles clashed with Fnatic. Two giants of Counter-Strike battling for their place in the final was a true feast for every fan at the Lanxess Arena. And at first it would seem that Virtus.pro had the upper hand. However, on the second map, Inferno, the Swedes took the initiative. But even then, Pasha Biceps sent a clear message that you do not mess with the Bears.
As Pronax finds Snack. Oh, Pasha! Oh, my in 4 seconds! You blink and you miss it.
Jesus Christ, Pasha. Insane spray down. Big shout out to Virtus.pro as well. They played an amazing series.
So I picked Dupree. He's been around forever. He has a ton of experience. He's consistently putting up great numbers, being also very impactful in the team with everything he does. And he's a player that I have a lot of respect for. And I think he's one of the greatest players that CSGO has seen. I had a bit more trouble finding the right person. Ultimately, I ended on Crims. Same, he's a player that is here forever. He's won almost everything, I think, in Counter-Strike, and he's been relevant for so many years, putting up star numbers regardless of his roles and positions. And I think he's a player that is not necessarily talked about all the time, but he's always been extremely good, present in top 20 player of the year, regardless of how his team performed, and seems like a very stable player within the roster. So again, he's a player I have a lot of respect for, and I love competing against. I went with ZywOo, even though he's only really recent in the history of CSGO. I chose him purely based on the fact that I haven't seen a player like him. I played with him in his first professional team in Vitality, and competing with him and knowing him as a person, I think he's as good as a teammate as you can expect from a player. And obviously his understanding of the game and skill is absolutely incredible. So he just needs some more years to establish himself even more, but he is obviously an incredible player. The IGL, and that's where it links up to my entry player and why it works well together. I picked Glaive. He is also very often the first point of contact in his team, and a player that creates a lot of space for the roster. Such a knowledgeable person and innovative as well. So if other people are being asked for this, I think Glaive is going to show up several times in dream teams. So as pure fragger and second entry / second upper as well, I picked coldzera, because I think it's a role that he's always been very familiar with, and I think also as a teammate, I'm sure that he's a great person to be working with. And so when I went with that roster, I had in mind also the personalities and the players that were seen as good teammates, as well. And so I like that about him. Winning is very important, and he's a very hungry guy. So since Glaive has an excellent relationship with Zonic, and he has been here as well for an extremely long time, and the fact that they work very well together, I picked Zonic because of that synergy with Glaive that is quite obvious in what they have achieved together. I think he's one of the only coaches that really stands out in terms of results.
We as pro players and coaches, we say this so many, stats don't tell the full story. So not always the most impactful player in the match is the one who had the most kills. Of course, you do have to headshot people in order to win the round most of the times, but you have some supportive players. Like if the player plays the solo side, an anchor side, he's not going to have those amazing stats most of the time. The last is like that one-off game. But if he's using his utility correctly, blocking, when he's a man-up advantage, he doesn't give away the difference. He doesn't put himself in a situation where he's full committed to the fight. He's just jiggle peeking, getting information. He's able to delay, survive, something like that. He's playing such an important role. So I think in leagues, team dynamics, and matches, that's where we always have to be scouting. There will be the occasional one-offs, which will be in a rank cast or just a pug, or they'll just come out where they're so mechanically gifted and talented that their talent shines through. Other than that, it's in team environments, and you'll normally see it's never one person. It's a big team, because like I said, this is a team game. So not only that player will have to have it, his entire team will need to understand that. So you normally don't see just one player popping off unless he's just that talented. You'll see a whole group evolve together. You'll see the entire squad get better because they'll get more fundamentals, more team play, a better understanding of the game, and that raises the level by so much it's not even fair.
Well, if you'd like to develop the qualities necessary to be a pro player, be like my boy Naf. Right here in the upper left section that I'm pointing at right now, it's 8 a.m. in the morning, and he's in here watching VODs, watching demos, studying his opponent, and becoming the best player that he can. If you learn how to study like demos, and you learn how to study VODs, and you learn how to study your opponents, you will gain more from watching a demo than you ever will from playing in like a late night professional pug system game. If you kind of learn how to understand, oh, I like this play that this player did, now let's go deeper and let's discover why he did that. Now let's go deeper and discover what did his teammate do along with him while he was doing that. I think once you start looking at it on that level and breaking it down to the smaller details, and you start to really investigate why players are doing certain things, it's very easy to kind of just, brush off the intelligence of pro players and just see that they're playing the game and just see the decisions and not think there's a deeper thought to it. And I'll be honest, in some cases that's true, but I think for the large majority of pro players, there's a very good rhyme or reason for every decision they make in the game. Even if in the moment they have the wrong read, there is a reason to why they did something. So I think once you start to learn how to kind of dive into that and understand that, you're going to learn, you'll learn so much more from watching a demo and watching a VOD than you will from just playing the game casually with a bunch of other pro players.
One of the most important things you have to do is sacrifice your own gameplay to help others, and you have to play together and have a hive mindset. So your teammates and you are one, so you can help them and they can help you to improve. And I think that's very important to be like this in a team game, like agreeable, a person that helps others, and just don't think about their own game. So I think that's general for most team games, and there's a lot of stuff about it, and you can just study it and just get better at it because it's very important.
Make some noise, Lanxess! It's Cloud9 versus Na'Vi. Map 2 coming up now, the first semi-finals. This is going to be one hell of a game.
Cloud9, they've picked up the first map.
Let's get this show on the road.
Throughout the years, Cloud9 surely had many ups and downs. However, in 2017 at ESL 1 Cologne, many did a double take when they witnessed them in action.
No utility at all for NIP. They want to go hard at this, but already Automatic with 1 second as well. Automatic, unbelievable.
After taking care of NIP in the quarterfinals, it was now Na'Vi's turn to face the speeding American train. And face it, they did, forcing Cloud9 to fight hard in order to secure the first map. Then, history later repeated itself on Overpass, but initially Nadas Vincere were on the run thanks to one player, and that player was Shroud.
Like Skadoodle had actually come out on top there. What a flick coming in. Shroud getting one another headshot. He's tapping away. Shroud, can he do it again? He's up to 11 kills and looking for number 12. Are you kidding me, Shroud? Can anyone take this man down? He's got 12-0. He's a one-man army.
Jeg får en runde mere. Jeg får lov til at prøve.
Okay, what? Jeg smukker på også.
Ja, har 3 med lige nu. Jeg skal lige flække den.
Nader dybt. Ja, nader dybt.
Hvor skulle der kaste noget nu?
Jeg har på. Jeg har du flash på? No, what?
What? Skyder der igennem?
He's cheating. Det skal jeg.
That's team mid. That's team mid.
Det er pop.
One more team mid. Up blue last. Blue last.
How are you doing?
I am doing pretty well, thank you. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. I am really excited to find out more about surfing in Counter-Strike because this is like a whole new world for me. The first time I really knew about surfing in terms of it having its own community was probably at the Intel Extreme Masters Global Challenge last year when your videos and Levi's videos started to be played on the broadcast. Like before that, I knew surfing as a thing that our pros still played for fun and maybe used to practice movement and things, but I thought it was like a thing of the past. I thought it was maybe more like a 1.6 thing. I had no idea that this whole other world existed. So yeah, how did you discover it?
So I got a PC because I used to play Xbox in 2015 and I pretty much found surfing like right away. I downloaded CSGO to play MM with a friend who moved from console with me, and then he disappeared, and I just found surf, and I've been playing it ever since.
So what was it about surf that you found so compelling to practice and become one of the best in the world at?
I honestly couldn't tell you. It's just addicting, I guess. Just one of the games where you just can't quit once you get hooked. There's very few people that have surfed that have quit properly and never come back. People always seem to come back to surf. It's extremely frustrating, and people often take breaks and they like burn out of like grinding maps, I guess, and they'll just take a break from surf, go play, I don't know, matchmaking or a different game, and I'll either come back eventually or I guess breaks is needed in this game, otherwise you do lose your sanity after a while.
There are no terrorists, counter-terrorists, there's no guns, there's no bloodshed in this thing. I mean, you break your legs occasionally when you fall down, but this is almost the antithesis of what I think about when I think about Counter-Strike in general. Did you ever really get into playing and competing in Counter-Strike in the traditional sense?
No more than casually with friends. I never really tried to get good. I just played casually with friends. I think the highest thing I got to was maybe like MG a couple years ago. But no, I don't know, matchmaking never hooked me like Surf did. Surf has somewhat ruined me for other games. Like I always just fall back on this game. I started streaming in 2019. I think I had maybe 10 people watching me. And over the years, I think it's grown anywhere between 150 or maybe 250.
It's interesting that, so basically, if people have been enjoying watching your surf videos during the ESL breaks, actually, they could go check out your stream and then they could have that experience when we don't have competitions on, which seems pretty cool. What is your Twitch channel?
My Twitch channel is twitch.tv/Caffrey. So it's pretty much CAFFREY.
Hello guys, my name is Nato Safix. I've been asked to showcase a few tips and tricks here on Overpass, and I've got 3 lined up for you. One of them being probably more of a funny spot you can use in matchmaking, so let's go ahead. When I was playing AWP, one of the tips that stuck with me on Overpass is if you can jump up on this here. Then a lot of people are holding this angle here, and it's quite good, especially if the opponents have pistols, for example. But for me, it's sometimes better to grab this angle, because even if the flash comes over, which you won't be able to dodge anyway, you'll be blind. Then when the players swing out behind the rock, they probably clear this here angle. And then when your flash starts to fade, the players will be pretty much in your vision, and then you can like just slow clear out. So typically you won't be flashed for that long unless they flash like really super far. If they just flash in your back, you won't be blinded for a very long time and you'll be able to get some easy kills. If you're going into the underground area, it's a pretty funny tip, I guess. I use it a bit in matchmaking because I find that it works quite well. And if you just smoke off the underground, for example, you can jump up here on the ledge of the pipe. Then you can go up on the pipe, and it's actually quite a hard angle to clear. So if the terrorists are not aware that you're going to be there, it's a pretty neat self-boost. You can also get a teammate to boost you up, and if you do so, it might be a fun off angle. Not only that, if you're up on the pipe, you can actually look through the windows out into short. So if someone's taking short and they haven't properly cleared connector underground, or however you would like to call it, you might be able to get a sneaky kill. So if you're playing CT side on Overpass, what many terrorist teams do is that they do and execute with a smoke wall. So you have the 3 smokes here on the bomb site. And the problem with this is that if you're a CT, you can't really get any clear vision. One way to get impact is simply just jumping off this trash can. So if you do that, you can get some info. But not only that, you can actually also boost on the corner of the trash can. So when the smokes are up, basically you're able to sit on top of your teammate's head. It's just a way to get a clean kill without potential for a refrag.
Who is it?
I know you fear this prison. A prison you cannot smell, or taste, or touch. A prison for your mind, for your soul. I want you to break free. And I know you want to. You want to feel the taste of victory on your lips once more. And so, the choice is yours. You take the blue pill, and the story ends. You wake up in your bed, and you're coaching that spawn-based Counter-Strike you've always been dreaming of. Or you take the red pill, and I show you how deep the casting rabbit hole goes. The team you're coaching? Cloud9.
Я не слышу нихуя.
Так, ладно, надо что-то другое сделать. We need to do something another.
Let's go. Я закупил?
Нет.
Еще где?
Левее, бай, левее. Кнопка левее, не другая.
I hit him or not?
No. Вниз мышку, еще. Он чуть выше теперь. Давай, прямо, вправее чуть-чуть. Вот зашел в монстр. Идешь, монстр, фанера, столб, уперся вот в планететы.
Так, я в дефолте?
Да, ставишь, считай, под 9. Короче, чуть правее дефолта ставишь.
Понял. Изи.
Левее, чуть-чуть левее, еще чуть-чуть левее, ниже, все, стоп. Стреляй! Так, ты убил его.
Окей.
Стой, жди еще. Еще бежит. Выше, встань. Ой, ты... Шут. Найс.
Изи.
Левее прицел, левее. Еще левее. Левее, ган. Правее, иди правее, еще правее, вниз, стой. Левее. Правее, нет, вообще не туда. Правее, левее, сейчас, левее. Правее. Вниз, стой. Левее. Смотри, вот сейчас еще чуть левее, вниз. Все. Ниже. Вантапами стреляй. Вверх. Стреляй. Левее чуть. Правее чуть-чуть. Левее. Убил. Там еще один. В мост убегает, он сейвит, все. Левее. Все, найс. Поворачивай в левую мышку. Влево. Двое уже вышли голову. Выше.
Какой выше? Так, окей, ты где? О, дигл.
О, it's hard. Я тебя убил?
Да.
I just don't didn't hear it.
Ты пушишь?
Я не знаю, где я.
Where is you?
You have some tactic.
Нет, не надо.
Now Cirque has got to turn around. He's got players coming from every position but the Palace.
They didn't have anyone here, so they've got to bear it in mind. And now Cirque out with 2 has suddenly stripped this man advantage away. Carrigan. Oh, he is ready. I was going to say, oh my word, where's this come from? This was a 4-on-3. Nick Stacey trying to stand the test of time, and this thing's not going anywhere.
And here comes the B play. This is what it comes down to. KNG looks to try and be the defender of the site.
The breaker of dreams. Rattled, Dupree, he rattles right back through the smoke. Oh my goodness! Dupree!
Boomich moving back into middle, and surely they don't expect this play. Oh, he may have just brained them hard, Harry. Double molly zone, double flashes. They could check this corner, and they should be able to trade. You'd like to think, but do they check it? That's the question. One goes by, and Boomich playing it like an absolute beast. He finds them both. JW, he's back on the shotgun again, and he's just going to be up for the chopping block. JW anymore. Oh, he's found his second. Pistols behind him, and JW, he's going to try his own. No knife for Stewie.
He's got it all to do, and he's stuck here. He's trying to play for time. Crims, the eyes of the world are watching, and this is where Crims might just do his best work. Shuts down everyone, just electronic, still defined, and there we go.
Roland once more close on ramp, has got to do it all.
Yeah, flashed in, Roland trying to deliver, and Roland gets 3. Oh, he takes them all down with him. You thought Brolin's Heroics might be enough, and indeed they are. The ace for Brolin. There's just 2 players left to get past. Karrigan, an unknown entity, an unknown factor, flicks on down. Karrigan drops the bomb, 7 seconds, and he's done it! He's stolen it from Fnatic! Sicko waited all round long, looking there, and now falls brave, and Malta might just be the saving. And now just Zipnik's left to find, but if one man is stealing these matches, it's often him.
All on Season. This is for the map. This is for the game. The smoke base coming. He gets the kill. He gets him off the bomb. The pistol's out. The BT's missed. He might just save Big once again. And he's done it all on his own.
Let's go, Asgard. I believe in your thing. I saw it on overpost.
Is it live? And where's the other guy?
Both on the rep.
Pushing left side. Wait. Reload, wait!
Okay, one on the left. I'm so bad in this video game. I'm pushing you, Sur.
Sur.
Ah!
Oh, I like that again. Man, fuck these.
Okay, I'm not shooting you. Are you back?
I am.
He's aiming at you all the time. He's like, I'm lagging. Okay. Sort of fun. To the right, last. On the left. Yeah. Right there. What the fuck, Asgard?
Ooh, right ramp.
Haha, nice.
Time to wake up, man, too. Okay.
Okay, I'm so bad in this.
Oh, I told you, time to wake up. Enough.
Enough said.
Fucking volume 1 holding.
Hey, both on the left.
Head on top.
Left or right, is it?
Nice.
No!
Unlucky.
It's this side map, guys. Yeah.
Push it to left behind you, bro, already.
He's there.
Ooh. Big bitch.
Oh my god, I'm so bad. Sort of?
No!
Okay, Monster. Okay. The tense standoff.
Why is it so intense?
What's going on here?
Let's go!
ESL Pro League is brought to you by Gaming Malta, Intel, US Air Force, 1xBet, and DHL.
Well, it's time to kick off our second match of the day here at the ESL Pro League Season 13. Now, don't adjust your headsets. I know you're probably saying, wait a second, why does Stunna sound like Semler? Well, I'm Jason Kaplan. I'm the other host here on the Pro League, and I'm joined by the lovely, the handsome, the ever-smiling Pimp. Pimp, how are you doing today, man? We got the Pro League coming up here.
Yes, I'm excited to be back. It's been a couple of seasons since I last done a Pro League, and we still have some question marks surrounding both of the lineups. For Heroik, though, they're also boot camping in their facilities in Copenhagen, so I think that is already by now evened out. When you're Heroik, you know, you made those roster changes to be a team that is better than you are right now. You want to be up there with the very best in the world, whereas for Renegades, I mean, they did it because they had to, right? They were forced into a uncomfortable position. So I think it's two teams with a different perspective on things, right?
Well, you say uncomfortable, but they're looking pretty damn comfortable here, as we can see on the screen, as that's actually from Inza's YouTube channel. In Malta, in sunny, bright Malta, I think that's a great thing to be, you know, getting some tan, obviously, in the downtime.
Could be worse.
Yeah, it could be worse. You could be inside of a studio all day and not really get to see the sun.
Would you?
Yeah, I would like to be out there. But obviously, like we're talking about, right, these two teams, it is going to be very tough, I'd say, for both of them, obviously, for different reasons. And we got to talk about Heroik here off the bat, because obviously they did announce, hey, we're going to be getting rid of Boer up here. We're going to bring in some new players. And that had a lot of controversy around it in terms of like what players they could potentially pick up here.
Yes, I mean, the obvious pick were hard to look for, right? You look at Shush, you look at Refresh, and they're two guys who've been doing a good job in the lower tier. And I say lower tier, right? They're playing for Mad Lions, and they're actually doing a good job playing some solid Counter-Strike. So them being brought into this lineup instead of Borup and Nico is not that big of a surprise when you think about it. But there were other candidates out there as well. You look at the likes of Bobski, you look at the likes of AC, Kirby. There's a lot of free agency when it comes to Denmark and Counter-Strike right now. So there was a lot of options to pick from.
Exactly. You can see here in a tweet you actually made talking about it, who would be filling in for the likes of these two players. And obviously, as you see here, the most important thing for me that you mentioned is that you can see that Heroik's not content with being a top 9-10 team, right? They want to be even higher, so they're making these big changes.
Yeah, I mean, that's the only reason why you would do so, right? Because sure, they were hitting a plateau. They were no longer the best team in the world, but they weren't awful. They weren't a garbage team, to be completely honest. They were just doing all right. But for Heroik, when you've been the best in the world, of course, you want to try to strive for that as well. And they weren't happening with Nico and Borup. So it makes sense. It makes sense to make this roster changes, but to bring in Shush Refresh, that's the new generation winning out right there. You could have gone for AC, you could have gone for Kirby, you could have gone for Cajun B potentially. There's a lot of the old schoolers out there, but you went for the new generation, you went for the fresh motivation, and I think that's a good idea.
And I do need to point out here in your follow-up tweet talking about this, you didn't know ahead of time, right? You actually predicted that these might be the two players coming in, and there was a certain someone out there who actually is lucky enough to be here with us here in the studio who had some different thoughts. Sponge, if you're there, do you care to weigh in on that?
Yeah, just to do with AZ and Kirby, right? Like, Jason, I know that it's been a while since we've seen you on a Counter-Strike broadcast, but I didn't think Heroik were going to try and make it feel at home.
No, they line up. Yeah, AZ top of the scoreboard about the last time Jason was on an analyst desk.
Yeah, and that's the last time we probably will see him on top of the scoreboard as well, right? Because these newer players, they pick Shush and Refresh, as Jacob's alluding to. They're not new names by any means, but they're not part of the North gang who failed for years upon years.
But Chad, didn't you also respond to Pimp's tweet with Spice back, almost saying that Shush and Refresh would not?
No, they're all right. They're fine.
You're not upset by them?
Kirby and AZ, they have to go back to the lower tiers of Denmark. They need to then, I guess, get some respect back.
I hadn't even...
What are they doing?
I didn't have Cajun B on the tip of my tongue. It was good to hear the cleaner's name once again. But yes, they've reached into the new pools of talent. And I wonder what you guys take on the desk of it. The new talent do seem to be starting to spread their wings very wide over the course of 2020 into 21. Jacob, what's your take on the rise of the newbies?
I mean, the rise of the newbies. They're doing a good job and they're getting better. I think the motivational is the most important aspect here, right? You look at your Kirby, you look at your AC, you look at your Cajun B. You know what they can do, you know what they have done in the past. But nowadays, you need motivation motivation. You need players who are willing to put in their hours, who are willing to put in and basically sacrifice everything around the game to produce on the server. And it doesn't seem like that has been the case for either AC or Kirby, for that matter, for quite some time. So,
well, the funny thing is, I'm sorry I have to cut you guys off. The last time I saw one of these two, in particular Sponge, producing on the server was actually when I was last casting some Counter-Strike. So it kind of goes hand in hand there. But to move it on, we obviously got to hear, our thoughts when it comes to these players. But we had the chance to talk to Refresh and see how they feel they're like in the new team.
With the addition of Shush and myself, I think we can do great things. We are already starting to click like pretty fast in practice, and things are going great so far. And I think if we have more time, we can be a really dangerous team.
And that's really interesting to me. It said they're already clicking. I hope they would be clicking. But there's always this factor to me that I wonder about, this honeymoon period that happens for teams when you bring new players in. I'm hoping for them they can hit the ground running and start strong, especially for a player like Shush, who is replacing Boerpier. And we wanted to kind of compare the stats for the last 3 months between these two.
Yeah, because the two supportive elements, if you can say so, right? Boer, a player that within his time in Heroik didn't produce the numbers he was supposed to. He didn't produce up to the level he could have done. He was a good player, but Shush, you see him on the screen right here, he's a player that even though he's the supportive element to our lineup, even though he's the guy who often sacrificed, the guy often playing spots nobody want to play, he produces on the server. So I think that's a straight upgrade. Where you look towards Nico and Refresh in terms of firepower, I think Nico was doing a good job. So there must have been something outside of the server holding him from staying in there.
I mean, we've seen that time and time again with teams just being in the server, thinking of Twist in particular when it comes to FaZe Clan and Liquid. You got to be comfortable inside and outside the server. And one man who's always comfortable, depending on where he is in the world, it's going to be Katie. And luckily we had a chance to get Frankie to sit down with him and talk to him about the Pro League and their match coming up.
Cajun, before we get into EPL, congratulations on qualifying with Heroik for DreamHack Masters Spring. Just looking at the numbers on paper, it looks like you carried that match, the last one you played.
Yeah, I had a pretty good game or two. That was nice to be back in a good flow. Of course, when you get two new players, there's new energy and new things to learn, but also sometimes it's good to lead by example. So I guess that's part of what I did. But I also think the new guys showed that with minimal practice, they actually already slot very well into the system. So you can expect even more things for them at this Pro League.
I remember back in 2018 when Refresh and Storm were playing on Fragsters, and it felt like it was Refresh that everyone was talking about, and then he kind of disappeared from the headlines. Why pick him up now?
Well, yeah, you said it yourself. One of the reasons is that Stown and Refresh has played together before, and Stown is vouching quite hard for Refresh. He knows what he's capable of. He thinks he's a super good player. I think Refresh has had a bit of a unlucky adventure into the Danish CS. He's been looked at as a rising star for a long time with Fragsters and so on. And then after that, he had his stint with Cloud9, where he actually did decently, and people were talking a lot about him. He was on everyone's lips, and then it kind of fell through at the Optic project. He didn't really shine under the leadership of MSL. He didn't feel comfortable and so on. And then it's been a long journey to regain his opportunities to get a second chance at a big team. But now he has it, and we have full confidence in him. He's going to do great here. We'll try to make sure that he feels comfortable, but also that he develops into having similar philosophies as the rest of the team.
So he's not in MSL's hands anymore. He's in your hands, KG, and how are you going to make him shine?
I'll make him know that he can do the plays he wants to, but I'll try to teach him when it's necessary in this team. I think one of the differences for him as well, I actually talked with him about this yesterday, is that he needs to realize now that he's in a team where he doesn't need to make plays all the time to win, because there's plenty of other playmakers, plenty of other great players who can win the game single-handedly. So I think that's different for him, because he's been used to for so long at some of his other teams that he needs to be the star player every round. So he needs to adjust to that, but he will be able to do that. I've already seen in practice what this guy can do, and there's a lot to come from him.
I can't wait to see it. Thank you so much, KG, and good luck in EPL.
Thank you.
Well, I do enjoy the confidence for Cadian to talk about Refresh, to bring him onto the team, to say he's slotting it in well. But my question to you is, Pimp, how many opportunities realistically do these players get before they have to look towards something else?
Well, not a lot. Not a lot in modern days Counter-Strike. We talked about the new generation coming through, and there's a lot of players out there who can do the job. So if Refresh is not hitting it, then he could be a player that could be a substance for change within the future. It's way too early to say whether or not he's going to be a success or not, but he is replacing Nico, a player that put up a lot of numbers on the server, had a lot of productivity on the server, and so far he's gone negative in all the games. So Refresh, he'll have to step it up now.
Well, you know what? We do have our maps now finally getting ready as we're about to kick things off with our first one. I think it's going to be over on Inferno here, Pep. Now, really quickly before we head into game, predictions for the series.
I expect Heroik to beat Renegades simply because Renegades are not good enough to compete at this level just yet.
Okay, well, I'd agree with you there on this one. And we're going to be heading over to our commentators to kick off here our second match of the day of day one of the ESL Pro League. It's going to be back over to Chad and Machine.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. All right, a polarizing desk. It seems that the Renegades have got a lot to prove to our analyst desk, and Cadian's got a lot to prove with his CZ and armor. No issues onto his first, and desperately tries to make those last few bullets in the clip count. Sicko did catch a little bit of damage. But the Renegades, I mean, they've been on European soil for a while, Chad, and I'm sure we'll talk to it even more. This is an opportunity for them to really cut their teeth in the leading region for the game they've dedicated their life to.
Yeah, look, when you're going into a matchup like this, against opponents like this is a chance. Rosters have been changed, and now they can maybe make a bit of an impact. So European Counter-Strike, it's definitely leaps and bounds from where they are.
Look
but
at
Malta's
that!
already in spawn. He's found a massive gap here. Now B's isolated.
Yeah, that's a huge frag to find. Not only has he got Refresh, but now the boys from B, he's just gone down in the hunger for the weapon. Sicko's trying to pivot. He might be able to catch Shush here. Yeah, he's so focused on short, he hasn't even considered it yet. He has to not rush his shots, though. Shush hasn't seen him. He's made noise. He's trying to force him into the fight. Still a 1v1. Shush jiggling nicely.
Has to win this one, surely.
Has to win this one, and it is going to be Ins to arrive in Phil for the last. Hats confirms it will be a Renegades round. Wow, so that started very wildly. We had action early in apartments. They pivot back to B. They pull a rotate. They end up slipping the net towards CT spawn. Good for one there. Good shots from Malta.
Oh, different timeout music here. This would be a new technical timeout music, is it? Oh, no. Wait, is it there?
It is music. Yeah, it's kind of nice.
This is soothing. I'm swaying to this one.
I feel like we're putting our lighters up, you know?
Yeah.
It's like that moment. It's like the concert, you know, it's about an hour in, and they just sit down, they have the guitarist playing music like this, and he just goes, Austin! And they all cheer.
Yeah.
So good to be with you tonight. Yeah. It's been a wonderful time. You guys do it best. Keep Austin weird. All right. Next one goes out to Mo.
As you can see, ladies and gentlemen, just like all of you at home, some social
interaction. I miss live events.
Bloody hell. Not go astray right now.
I didn't realize how much it was, you know, fuel for my sanity until it was taken away from me.
Yeah, look, it's kind of important. Another thing that's important, just to give everybody at home a quick understanding of why we're in this technical pause out the gate, just a little bit of a TeamSpeak issue. Yeah, we still use TeamSpeak in the year 2021. Deal with it. We're not going to use your Discord. We're not coming, all right?
Well, if we are filling, Chad, maybe now is the time for me to hear your thoughts on me potentially using my downtime in this next month.
Okay.
Go outside and actually try and...
I saw you tweet that.
Train parkour.
Are you...
like I'm talking, I'm going to go on a YouTube. I'll find like, you know, baby's first parkour, like how to learn a climb up. And then I'll just go out.
And try it.
I'll take an electric scooter. I'll go somewhere relatively out of the public eye.
Well, we were talking about your hands before. They're going to get beaten up.
Yeah, my grip strength is very weak, and I used to weigh well over 100 kilograms, so now it's a little easier.
Yeah, so there's a lot of things going into this, Alex. The first one I think you're going to have problems with will be the weather.
You said it's going to rain all week.
All week.
So in terms of parkour training...
Why don't you do this? In our gym in the hotel, which is open for one person just for those...
50-minute windows, masks on, in and out.
Yes, but there's the rig with the pull-up and stuff. That would probably be a good place to start with upper body strength.
And just grip strength in general.
There was the hangy thing.
It doesn't seem as fun when it's not outside, though.
That's true.
I kind of enjoy the aspect of just having a reason to go somewhere, do something that isn't in front of a bloody desk.
Just stay away from the bridges near the Rhine.
That was kind of where I was gravitating towards.
I think I know a good spot for you to go. I'll
like a little, skate parks or anything like that, where they've just got a wall that won't be particularly
Busy.
high traffic.
Yeah, I think I know a spot for you.
Right. Well, if you're in Cologne and want to be in my new parkour gang, hit me up on Twitter.
I was walking the other day and I saw a sign next to the train tracks, which is the same as on train and overpass. It's the man putting his hand out saying "Do not pass" type thing. And I put a picture of it, and people knew exactly where I was in Cologne when I took that photo.
Yeah.
They were like, "Are you next to the Hyatt?" I was like, "Yeah." Like, how do you know that from one photo?
Oh, of course you do.
They're wizards, aren't they?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, at this point, I think I could probably pull that off. Anything around central Cologne.
Do you want a little bit of info on Renegades, Alex?
No, I mean, other than the fact that we saw that lovely little video of their time in Malta, I don't know too much about what they've been up to.
So here's the problems with Renegades for everybody playing at home. Obviously, during the COVID situation of 2020, travel was limited for everybody throughout the world. But for somewhere like Australia, it was a hard close on the borders. To travel in there, travel out of there, you'd need exemptions. It's a bit of a faff, if we're going to be completely honest. They spent their entire 2020 domestically rolling over everybody. I think towards the tail end, some of the teams started to get a little bit close, but at the same time, I would cite a little bit of, I guess...
deceleration.
Yeah, and complacency keep creeping in, right? Because if you win everything for an entire year, but long story short, they're in Malta now. They've gone over there, they're boot camping, they get to be on the same side of the road, which is quite nice. So that one's probably going to be something nice for them. The weather's not too bad as well, but all in all, they are practicing in Europe. But that isn't the highlight of this. The highlight is this man on your screen right here, Alistair. Now, he was not a part of Renegades until Dexter made the move to an international team. Dexter's move over towards Mouse Sports. We'll see that later in the groups. You guys would have heard that around Katowice. But this Renegades roster are now trying to operate by losing their star and in-game leader. We don't officially know who it is. I believe it is Malta, who is the in-game leader of this Renegades roster now. But if you want to keep your eyes out for the impact players, I would be turning my attention to Sika. He's actually from New Zealand, the AWPer of the team. And Alistair coming in, he's the new boy. He also does a bit of AWPing. And these guys have all basically come up at the same time.
I'm not mistaken, am I? The Hats was at times kind of hyped up to be the new prodigy upon his arrival. He has seemingly cooled off, and exciting to see as their talent starts to shape up against Heroik. Deagles and Armor, full investment, every penny spent. Couple of $50 bills in their back pocket for the ride home. Okay, Cadian takes a chance, and actually, interestingly enough, he did so dry. Stown still has his flash if they re-aggress.
Lots of smokes here to work with as well, 4 of them. And now, rounds like this where they get smoked off and it's late round Counter-Strike, Renegades having to deal with this isn't problems they have to solve in Australia. So let's see if their time in Europe has helped them deal with these kind of issues. Smoking off towards the arch side, 1 minute and 6 seconds left on the clock.
So you've denied mid-info. You just have to not die. Malta does catch some flat, tight line held from that Deagle. So you've forced the CTs into a unfavorable B defense.
If they go back to B, though, there's 2 smokes to get through, right? Stown still has one. Tessus has rotated over with another. And at 50 seconds, this is where we have problems. So this first smoke going in, that's fine. It's going to buy them roughly, I would say, 30 seconds on the clock, and then they can drop that other one, which will buy them until 10 seconds. So
it looks like Renegades.
Finish.
Yeah, they're going to back up towards A. They'll throw out the fake smoke, at least keeping some feet planted. But as the util from Alistair is dropped, it's going to make it all too clear. Cadian's going to be ready with his HE. This could be destined for greatness. They are low. Nicely evaded. 25 though, and he just walks into the crosshair, missed his smoke. You could see he was a bit flustered on the throw.
20 seconds.
This could be a very nasty shape up for Renegades. The clock's on Heroik's side now. They're going to have to push in. Malta off the back of the flash. You've got to get planting soon. Oh, doesn't finish off the job. Doesn't finish his meal. They're planting. And the wall bang's not enough. INS.
Oh, they're so low.
He lives on. They're so damn low. One bullet from anyone's gun will find at least one. In's gone. Hat's saving the day at the moment. He's found 3 in quick succession. He needs Stown as well. Very lethal with the Deagle, and Hats bails Renegades out of trouble. That is the definition of a round's a round.
Oh, they survived?
Yeah, a round's a round, dude. Listen, it's a round. That's what you needed, and you got it.
Look, that is one of the hardest rounds to deal with for anybody. If you don't know how to apply pressure to bait those smokes out
10
early.
seconds. Look at this. I mean, he's got so many. He's in such a rush to get a kill.
Yeah, and I think the smoke from Alistair, we actually got his POV while he was lining that up. You could see he wasn't certain. He threw it. There was a gap. Cadian capitalized on the gap. Very dicey scenes, but you bang on. Hat's the savior within the early stages.
Whew. And now they can just hopefully rest and relax just a little bit more. It's only a Zeus. I say that with little hesitation for Malta's life here. Let's see if he's been playing in Europe long enough to be cautious of all of these ratty games. You have to have patience to play Counter-Strike at this level. Patience that's far beyond me. I just want to go.
Yeah, you're a good, a big fan of the W. I don't think it's W for you, but
yeah,
the run forward key.
The up arrow.
All right, well, they're into the B bomb site, and as we can see, nobody from Heroik is home. They took the gamble stack over towards A, the lion's share of their forces to deal with Malta, but Sjuush might even get this Zeus kill. Oh, the timing on that. The Zeus at that range is not going to get anything done, and Malta finds the kill. Okay. There's only 4 more left. So these MAC-10s and MP5 on the back of Sicko, if they want, they can go hunting, see if they can find these last few. At the same time, the armor, it'd be nice to carry on through to another round. Alistair gets dinked on up, and he will be able to hold on to that AK. So it's just about what damage can be done here. It's down almost as well.
Oh, perfect. The MAC-10s have been given a chance.
Yeah, a lot of almost in these last 2 rounds for Heroik. Now, I think the sentiment from Pimp on the desk about Renegades, you know, probably being a little bit out of their depth, I think that's a fair summary, right? Considering the fact that they have been locked away for a long time. And Heroik, at one point, even though it wasn't with this roster last year, were considered the best team in the world for a short juncture, right? ESL won Cologne, remember that. So we know the ceiling of a team like Heroik. We just have to see if they can get there with these new additions. Stound vouching for Refresh. I completely forgot about the Fragsters days with Dragonfly, and I think their brother, like, I think his name was like Life Dance or something. He was like the manager of the team.
Why do they both have sick names? Dragonfly and Life Dance?
Yeah, that was Stound's brothers. And I don't know what they're doing these days, but Refresh with the AWP. Hello. That's an interesting look.
It is a look. Vouched for by his ex-teammate. And they're using this bonus round. They've got 3 SMGs up short, Chad. It's not gone well. Oh, that's a miss from Refresh, and it's one that's going to come back to haunt him. He's been hunted, overrun, and Sjuush can't finish the job. Tessus does release long, but Sjuush still in pit. They want to flash for him. He's got a good angle for this. And how does Malta get away with this? Look at their health. It's happening again.
Oh, they're so
Renegades hanging on by a thread. It's down yet to frag. Could very well find a few more here, and they're coming in. Oh, Hat saves them. He has yet to die. Hat's the immortal.
He's pulling something out of a hat. Jeez, the last few rounds, he has bailed them out in a big way.
Oh, okay, Chad. You know you don't play WoW, but you get like titles when you do cool things.
Okay.
Like, you could be called Hat's the Immortal if you did something without dying.
So he's Hat's the Immortal.
I mean, I think it would be cool if we start giving, you know how you've got like the chicken killer at the end of the game?
Sure.
Let's start giving those titles ahead of time so people can kind of, you know.
Are we going to make Rush keep track of all of them?
Yeah, actually, it's entirely Rush's responsibility. I'm glad you came up with that.
Well, he doesn't really do anything.
What's he actually got to do? I mean, he's just sitting there.
What, 10 buttons?
Press 1 right now. There we go.
There we go.
That was pretty good.
He has to actually tell the producer every time he wants to press a button, and he needs confirmation.
Changing, ready for change, and it changed. Okay.
All right, well, this is actually a great start. And if we're going to be fair, which is what I want to be, this group, I've said multiple times, is going to be a mess due to the fact that 4 teams are in relative flux. That's OG. Obviously, the 2 teams you have on your screen right here, Heroik and Renegades, are in that. And then earlier in the day, we did see Complexity go up against the likes of, it is eluding me right now, Alex, who did they just play? We just casted it.
We literally just casted Complexity versus...
They just owned them. It was like 16-6, 16-10. Oh, FPX. Yeah, there it is. So all the teams, unfortunately, are in this state of flux, which is great for a team like Renegades to get some upsets in a group like this.
I mean, yeah, upsets, sure, but if you just tuned in and you see 4-0, you won't realize just how hectic these 4 rounds have been. Not to take anything away from the Renegades, but they have been saved by Hats. The fact he's found multiple kills when they are so fragile in some of their afterplants, but fortunately, this one should come a little smoother.
Ooh, maybe not. Look at this. Tessus is taking a lot of information, and he has the biggest gun, but there is a stack from Heroik over towards the B bomb site. All 5 members now stuck in Banana for the Renegades, and locking them in will be Tessus with this AK. He's going to hear some of these footsteps if Malta's not too careful.
I don't think Malta's going to expect this in a million years.
Oh, dearie me. This might either force them back to A or into the stack at B, where now there's 4 players. Tessus, no!
He can do so much damage, and it's so quick. 2 shots to the back of the head, Sicko and Malta. Their ears ringing.
They're pushing Banana as well. Oh!
It's got the angle to punish. It's 2. Maybe enough, but no, Alistair cannot contend. Tessa's quite the flank, and yeah, bang on, Chad. You said there was a bit of a risk in this one. It was only Deagles and Kevlar, but turned around for Heroics first, and no need to buy an AWP when you get 2 AKs and an AWP for your troubles. That's big stuff. Let's see how this one shaped up. So Tess is so clean, had to make it quick and pinpoint precise on that. I think what was most impressive to me was that it could have very well turned around again, despite Tessa's heroics. Inns was in the tight spot, and you can see the new faces in those heroic jerseys in that boot camp.
Yeah, it is very curious scenes here that they've gotten away with.
They love this. An aggressive off angle on the half wall.
Yeah, so Renegades right there. Look, the fact that they lose that one, the round itself doesn't look great, but considering how they got across the line in the few before that, I think they were probably due one. So now this might level out. Having the AWP back in the hands of Cadian makes a lot more sense. Maybe it was just a spawn of why they were letting Refresh go for that pick, but it turned out to be a massive calamity. Stown with the in-game leader, top Banana here, and they've maintained a lot of information. That's one thing that Renegades are going to have to make sure they punish as this game continues. Taking mid control now. Smoke to Arch side, Molly Porch. And a nade dunked on Sicko's head. He's down to 59. So just standard posturing right now between both of these teams. And Malta is in a very powerful position, cannot land the shot. Tessus is low.
Yeah, that's something, and it does give a bit of room for Inns to take some space.
This is good. He has a gap here. If he even wants to go looking for mid to B.
Oh, they're going to smoke him off to enable the cross. This could enable a bit of a surprise on the push. Is he going to walk through it? He is.
Nice timing.
And no one is checking him. He's... Tessus catches him on his glance. They're on the go now. Shush has caught some bullets. Refresh there in the crossfire as well. As Alistar may be the first one in. The crossfire seems to be working wonderfully. Tessus takes 2. Hats in a 1v3, trying to isolate some jewels, and he does so with the fake. Sprays wildly.
That's the plan now.
Hoping to plan in the smoke, and yeah, no cigar. Tessus denies. 4 kills from Tessus, and his awareness there, just to check that walk through the smoke, may very well be enough to translate that second.
Yeah, it looked good, right? They had a lot of room there. You could see what they were going for, but it was clear that Heroik knew where their weaknesses and their gaps were. Once you see all this utility get thrown from Renegades coming up porch side and then they pause, it was like, oh, okay, hold up. Maybe they're not coming through these smokes. And that one little chance to pivot was all Tessus needed. The fist bumps are coming on out. And we're getting back underway with round number 7 here. So it will be a scout for Malta. A Deagle in the hands of Hats, and everybody else will be onto the Glocks. So not the most threatening round by any means, but Heroik, they need to start throwing a couple of clean ones together to build their bank on the CT side. So the Deagle and the Scout picking top mid. Oh. There's an AWP short.
Willingness to keep the AWP on A.
Yeah, so they're running double AWP CT side this early. It's very interesting. Oh, were the feet spotted just there?
No, well, at least not for Shush. Malta's shadow is visible. What a shot on the scout, and Malta lives on.
He's in pit.
Yeah, and there's no info. Refresh would not have seen that. Now he will. Tracer fire tracked. Malta hoping for another hero scout shot, and they are drawing his crosshair nicely. A scout tag and converted, and now it's a long run for Sicko. Cadian's hunting him. How is he? He's on his own. What's he supposed to do? Now the bomb's loose and the round will disintegrate. It looked promising for a second there.
Yeah.
Had the bomb not been so disconnected. well spotted there, Chad. It really lost a lot of its potency when you saw poor Sicko being chased out of Banana.
Interesting to see this shot from Malta. Plenty of bullets were thrown into him there. The fact he gets away with that one, quite impressive stuff. But yeah, this is interesting with the AWPs from Heroik. Now, the double AWP CT side, we know how expensive that is to pull off time and time again. It's also something which can be stifled if the other team has very good utility usage. So let's see if Renegades have been learning anything in their time in Europe.
Ooh, Stown really quick to try and take that shot. Didn't want to stick around, don't blame him. And that nade leaves a mark. Over 100 damage inflicted. Stown did catch a little bullet back. Just tagged for now. Double AWPs in play and aggressive AWPing for the bedroom jump up. Cadian. So you've got Banana control. You hear scoping on the site. Malta testing his luck. And look at the angle that Shush is holding, man.
That's good that they bled that smoke, but this is the fight. And that's a big
crosshair placement, legit perfect.
See, if they can't get Boiler and Hall's control and they take that much damage towards Banana, Renegade's are going to have a real rough time.
Oh, that's sick.
How does he miss that?
Goes through the corner of the wall. Alistar gets wing clipped down to 17. He's lost his functional health.
It's a walking wounded.
Yeah, you're going to be first in at this point.
And they don't have any nades to operate with.
How extreme are you being here? Oh, yeah, well, that's the last Molotov flying out. He's trying to sell something at B. He's got 3 CTs here to contend with right now, so if they did pull that trigger, it would just be KD and Zorb and a...
They're splitting B. Okay, so there's a gap. Alistair needs to find a kill here and find it quickly. 25 seconds.
Yeah, Refresh is going to be checking it, and oh, damage, he dinked him. It's not enough, and now they're all too aware as to where they want to finish up. It was 20 seconds, you see one CT. I think you can work this one out. Through the smokes. Oh, he hasn't actually been able to see too much. Sicko's got the frags down, he's low, and he's hit his shot. They have to plant. They have to plant, they can't if they're all dead. Sicko forced into a 1v2. Cadian's the first, up Banana, another little late. And takes his first shot with ease. Sicko looking to clutch up here. Repositioning, eye to the scope already, doesn't want to be making the sound cue. Shush has no idea. It's primed and ready for a Sicko clutch up. 3 frags already, this would be his 4th. Kit on Shush, time is a luxury. And he doesn't miss a single beat. Renegades gifted the 5th by the heroics of Sicko.
I cannot believe they pulled that one off right there. They didn't have any utility for that. They did find themselves a gap, able to try and punish through that mid to B, but as soon as Alistair goes down with only a dink, you think that's it. I'm not quite sure how they get both the entries onto the site there. They deal with Stown after a great multi-kill, and then Sicko, yeah, set up easy as you like. Shush is in a nightmare scenario. Where is he? Where's he going to be? Just trained on him with that AWP, and the New Zealander gets it done.
Lovely stuff. They really were pushing the clock there, especially after the double kill from Stown. My lord, they've turned that round entirely on its head.
This is a really important round. Look at the buys for both teams, both with SMGs. There's Famouses and Galils in the mix on both sides. They've got light utility. Well, they've got decent utility across the board. So the winner of this one is going to really start to wrangle some control of the economy. And they're just contacting up mid.
If you or anyone at home can think of a good word to describe the Galil and FAMAS as kind of secondary rifles. Second string, you know, like a kind of a way to fathom that they are cheaper, less effective, something that covers all of that. Let me know. Still been thinking and brainstorming that one. I don't.
Shadow, he did.
Oh, Alistair spots 2. Or at least the first, uses the shadow to punish. Now Alistair wants more. He springs into a spray, maybe even a 4th. It's only Refresh.
Stuck on 8, last guy.
He's so tagged. Gets awkward now. Malta's even got a HE. If he does survive and weather the storm of some of those bullets, there's likely going to be a little top Pokeball. Good moves. Parkour from Refresh up on the box. Now, with 3 frags to his name, he's got a lot of ground to cover. The boys from Renegades heading in to try and ensure survival. They'll be able to get that bomb down. He's done a lot of scavenging. He's upgraded at least to the M4. And with 14 HP, I mean...
They're letting him go for it? It looks like it.
Got to peek into that scope, though.
Has the kit,
a jiggle would be perfect, a jump peek, something to bait it. It looks like he's recovered even more of a tempting upgrade, and you can't fault him there. This is a team that's been leaning double AWP.
Yeah, I understand that. In terms of the longevity of this game, it's a decision that's going to help KD in. Obviously, Stown's had it, Refresh has even had it in his hands once, just to continue this forward, try and be a thorn in the side of Renegades. The fact that Alistair gets that double, that's a bit of a... I don't want to say lucky scenario. It's good that he has heads up to be aware of that. The fact that he caught that shadow, that's where the luck came in, right? Just on the cusp of that smoke, able to find anything and then convert the double. So great work there. And Renegades are up to 6 rounds. Now, here's the bird's eye view of this. The totem just getting absolutely dismantled player at a time. And we saw it. We caught it. He just saw a bit of a shadow under the cusp of the smoke.
Yeah, a huge double entry frag from Alistair there. And he's been quiet so far, so good to see the arrival from what I imagine is a necessity for a game against an opponent like this. Good to see Alistair just recovering nicely and posting a impactful multi.
This is a hard round to win, though. Look at the buy coming on out. Heroik have been able to get that saved AWP, a rifle in play. Can't be lazy now. These are the type of rounds you need to make sure you're diligent.
He's doing a late peek off the flash.
Oh!
He knocks off his head. I'm not sure. I think he could just see the little tip of his cowlick poking out from the hidey hole. Oh, Alistair's been left red-faced after that one.
Yeah, well, this is a problem because the AWP is repositioned. Now he gets another shot at it.
Cadian's been mastering his craft on the AWP for a few years now. And He's in the right place.
Oh, the timing.
They use the pistols to bait. Cadian to punish. Refresh is there as well. Renegades caught out with just 2 weapons from the Heroik rifles. Stown and Shush, though, they have neither. And currently jiggling and hoping that the Renegades will give them enough time for their hero to arrive. They'll park Refresh on B. Cadian last seen on B. And that's the smoke, the aforementioned last line of defense.
This killer arch side is everything.
Yeah, you're right. Cadian's rotated into library and Malta's going to have a small window.
Oh, Cadian's aware.
He's thinking about it. Hey! Oh, goes for the no-scope and gets punished. That makes this round a whole lot more winnable. The rotate, yes, on Refresh, but the 2 on the A site with pistols, what are you supposed to do about this? They've remained very undetected. Flash is promising to forces him to... Oh, he's eating that fully. Lots of space. 15 seconds, though. For some reason, it looks awkward, and it gets awkward. Shush has hit his shots, and so does Stown. Heroik turn it around off the back of Cadian's first, but the double S on A, locking it down.
Well, 2 of these rounds that they've won so far, Heroik, have been on the lower buys, right?
How much does he see? I've got my nose on the screen. Okay, tiny beret. Something from the souvenir shop, look.
Oh, boy, oh, boy, oh, boy. My old man eyes had to squint at the screen just there to see anything. But this is 2 rounds with saved guns that they found impact Heroik, right?
Yeah, they played it so cool as well. Sending the pistols out first.
And now that they've put Renegades in one of these scenarios again where they're just back down to pistols. Sure, I got a little bit excited about that Malta shot. Those nades are good too. The triple, the dunk. Cadian's gone down. They're straight into B. It's open.
Could punish
They keep going.
What's going on? What's going on?
Ooh,
what's going on? Where's the second guessing coming from? They've jostled the AWP around. There's only one rotator in the form of Tessus, and he makes that clear as he smokes off the molly. They're pulling the plug on this.
It's a gap that Alistair can't really work with the Glock in play, and those sound cues will be heard. So now that they know the site has been taken control back of, they can just use this AWP, which they've gotten in the hands of Sicko, to work with. So it's given them something. They came into the round with nothing.
Yeah, but how do you break this quad setup? You'd have to be peeking completely unconcerned about long. And, well, Sicko's attention is drawn upon the loss of Malta. Lines baited, good shooting, Refresh. 2 different axes for the shot. Sicko just shoots between the wickets.
B's open again. They can bring the bomb and he will know this time.
This is huge. The shot to the back of the head from Tess has had to be clean. They are, and enable a plant in with the AWP posted up. Can he get to new box? He might. Oh, Shush with the shot.
What a shot.
Super hyper long range now, Alistair.
He wants the AWP.
He does. It's possible. They're closing in fast, though, and Shush is making mincemeat out of anybody. Peeking from that new box angle, you can see the thought process from the Renegades.
Yeah, sharp shooting there from Shush. And I think for those who aren't too familiar with Shush as an individual, he was over there in Mad Lions. Obviously, that's where Bubsky came from. Acor, who's now over there on Mouse Sports as well. Cillian was there for a period of time. Hunden was there for a period of time, who's now the coach of Heroik. And Shush, I think, you know, when Bubsky went, that kind of left an avenue for him to be a little bit more of a fragger for the team. I think he stepped into that slightly. I don't think we've completely seen how good he can be. And Pimp on the desk was talking about him as a supportive element. I think he's a great supportive element, and he's also got some good individual ability. So if he can polish both, might be exactly what Heroik are looking for. As this time, they're throwing in some aggression, so straight down mid.
Oh, they've got so many different looks, this Heroik roster, albeit quite newly established.
This is a freebie.
Yep, hats.
It was a freebie.
What?
Where's the comms?
Where is the comms? Nobody turns around, and the round is ripped out of Renegade's palms. Oh, it leaves a bad taste in your mouth when you see that death for Sicko. I mean, yeah, fair play. You have to work it out, but Hat starts getting shot at. Sicko emerges from his hole, and still with a pin pulled. It's a nasty set of deaths for the boys of Renegades, and Heroik are fully back in this half now. Let's see this one again. Like, look at the timing. Sicko, at this point in time, pulls out the pin.
Oh, no.
Just as his hat, like, as Hats is saying, he's pushed. Sicko's just swapped to that smoke. You've just sit there, accepting your fate, watching your death in slow motion. Brutality. This will be the likely changing of the guard. Looks like Heroik will be seizing control of this defensive half.
It's been a lot of ecos that have felt dire for Renegades. This is one where at least they have more upgraded pistols than not. There's only one Glock in play on ins. That early utility chunks down Alistair. Oopsie. Bit of a whiffed smoke just there from Shush, but it's not the end of the world.
Well, it's actually perfect because they can't swing. It's all for 5D chess and 7D backgammon.
Can only go the tight line, you're right. So that makes things very awkward. And Shush is getting a chance to get even more damage. So 12 kills for him so far, 96 ADR.
I guess we just Just run at them then. Draws the crosshairs. Shush has just got a shooting gallery right now.
Yeah, they're not doing the, all right, guys, so we're about to sit here for 1 minute and 55 seconds while the CTs throw their grenades. This is Renegades trying to keep things quick. And everybody lives. So it was quick as you like. 1 minute left on the clock, so 55 seconds of round played. 7-6 now, Heroik taking the lead in this one and looking good. I think one of the things we talk about when you have an underdog going up against a team who, well, traditionally would be considered pretty good in the current era of Counter-Strike, you have to earn their respect. And these aggressive maneuvers that Heroik have been going for game in, game out have been working. The refresh push down mid. We had Tessus with that push over towards Apps where he was able to flank Banana with a couple of kills. So they're able to find the gaps here and punish Renegades for not having all those holes plugged on up. Deep smoke. Molly, and he's going to play in front of it here. Hats in trouble.
Yeah, Down in his aggressive moves. First it was middle, now they send one down. Talking of aggression, Cadian's in Apps.
Yeah.
All right, well, he's had his application denied. Malta, the estate agent, says no.
Yeah, he didn't like your record of renting there, old Cadian.
Yeah, and too many pets.
You only get one as an emotional support animal.
That's what I consider you, Chad.
Oh, okay.
You
should travel for free then.
Yeah, you're my emotional support animal.
All right, well, Malta unable to get away with his little play that he's gone for a few times throughout. Mollied him off the line. Renegades don't have any territory other than a little bit of Banana and now top mid for free. So actually gifts coming out from here from Heroik.
When's your birthday, Chad?
24th of July.
Where are we now? Okay. Tessus is holding this line, and it should be good for at least one. You'd expect a punish or a flash, though. Oh, Tessus is here for a reason. He expects he'll have vision. And Jiggle from Inns is good enough, but he maintains his spray and does get the one. So it's kept level. Does mean pressure onto Stown now. Whether he wants to contest the plant or take fights earlier, I think the smoke has kind of made that decision for him.
Oh, they're taking way too long.
It's going to fade, dude.
Yeah.
It's going to fade.
Lots of problems right now for Renegades. Stown is set up.
He hears it. He knows they're both across now. And Alistair doesn't do his due diligence.
He didn't sweep. He didn't clear it.
Easy frag for Stown. More to come. You have to plant now. What are you supposed to do? Malta's just saved them. Not another one of these. The Renegade special, Chad. Right down to the wire. Malta now being the hero. How many of these rounds have they had? 4 seconds on the clock as the bomb goes in. Malta and Alistair double up. I kind of like this. Like, margin for error, I don't want to say it's none, but it's significantly reduced in a crossfire like that.
It's a good plant for them here, though, so if they just allow Shush to have the control, they should be able to beat him in this 1-on-2. There it is. So the fact they convert that one right there, 7-7. Look, these rounds, they feel really sketchy. They feel very, very sketchy in how they're getting across the line.
I mean, Malta, if he arrived 1 second too late,
it was 9 seconds when he made that kill,
That's the new box player can't plant. Malta can't plant. It's over.
Yeah.
Like, these frags are happening exactly like at the last second they could. Madness. Absolute madness. Renegades, though it's gritty, it's gory. You know, it's a Tarantino flick. This is not art house. We're not seeing floating dancing in the mountains. It's gruesome.
Canadian?
Yeah, he fancies his chances.
This aggression is unbridled. They keep pushing.
They really want to punish Renegades. They want to try and give them a taste of that European Counter-Strike.
Oh, hold up.
Yeah, no one's looking. And Sicko left slipping. Oh, refresh ready for the ramp peak as well. Stown's locked one of them in. Stown sent another one packing, and poor old Hats is trapped between a rock and a hard place. Nades, bullets, I mean, pick your poison. How do you want to go down? Stown is the answer. Heroik by the smallest of margins. 8-7. We'll be back for your second half of your second game of your very first day in a minute.
Hey Future Pros, we are back with an advanced execute for your T-side on Inferno. For this execute, you will need 4 Future Pros along with 3 mollies, 3 flashes, and 2 smokes. Let's break it down. Future Pro number 1. Your first job is to boost up Future Pro 4 onto the half wall. After that, get into this position and aim your crosshair above this point where the roof tiles combine. This molly will land and force out anyone playing first or second oranges. Then bank a flash off this window to blind anyone on site or in CT. This will allow you to get a quick smoke covering off CT spawn. And for good measure, lob this deep flash over CT spawn, which will further blind anyone playing on the site. Future Pro 2, you'll be smoking off coffins and also provide a supporting flash. To smoke coffins, get right up into this corner with the logs. Aim upward along the line of this fence and stop when you're at this line with this other fence post. This smoke will block off behind coffins. It is thrown this deep to discourage CTs from pushing through and hugging the side of the smoke, so be aware that someone still could be holding coffins. Alternatively, you can throw this smoke a little higher and coffins will be fully smoked off, but be wary of an aggressive CT. Finally, aim above these wires over the left of the plant bot. Walk forwards and throw the flash as you get to the second wire. This will provide a flash to blind anyone on the B site. Future Pro 3, you only have 1 molly to throw, so don't mess it up. Your molly will be to push out anyone who's playing new box. To do this molly, get up into this part of the wooden barrels, formerly known as car. Then aim at this part of the tile and jump throw. Now no one can play from new box, great! Future Pro 4, you also have an easy job. Once Future Pro 1 has boosted you onto the half wall, position yourself over this corner of the wall. Then aim at this gap in the trees and throw your molly. This will force anyone out of dark. If this execute is done correctly with the right timings, there should be literally nowhere for the CTs to stand apart from out into the open. But make sure you practice those timings, it really is all about timings.
Eight to 7. Ready for Inferno to continue. Renegades, I'm sure, just grateful for the 2 minutes to catch their breath. Chad, it's been chaos. How would you summarize for those that may have missed our first 15?
I'm going to run with messy. This is what I want to label this group as. It's just a mess, right? Imagine you've got this beautiful cake, Alex. You're taking it at someone's birthday. You're going to have a great time. You drop it all over the floor. That's what I envision the type of Counter-Strike we're going to continue to see from Group A. But it's bloody entertaining seeing that guy trying to pick up all the pieces, isn't it? And we're enjoying that so far. We got the 1x bet odds. Heavily favouring Heroik, no surprise there, as now we need to see Renegades on the CT side. Why have you picked this map? Can you lock it down? And what do Heroik and Cadian have in store?
I mean, yeah, you've already framed it. Complexity FPX was your first of the group. You've got Big Clan OG coming up as your last of the day. Getting to see some of these head-to-heads is going to be really interesting.
Look at all the info that Heroik have here straight off the bat, right? Full banana control. They're able to walk up middle. We can see that nobody's home. Just Alistair with his tight line. He'll spot and, well, I thought fall. The P250, not enough to scare him away. We'll go back in for a double dip. With a minute left on the clock, a smoke and a flash in the hands of Katie, and they are looking poised and ready to hit towards this A site, but it is the Fakey boys after all.
Up long.
Arch side. Alistair's in trouble.
He's going to have a chance to at least take one of these bouncy Danes. Got one, shushed down, bomb two. They'll scoop it up and pivot. It is feeling and smelling like a mid to B, but Cadian's tucked into library.
West down is.
Oh, far from the library for Alistair. He did not read that right. Charges straight on in. Cadian catching them. They are in limbo, and they have to make a choice. They are coming towards the B site now. I say this with bated breath. Good grief. The Fakey boys, Chad, don't know where they're going. Alistair doesn't know where they're going.
Bottom of mid, there's a fight right now. What is going on?
Poor Rush.
15 seconds. They're going back to A.
Okay, it's open. It's actually the right call. They've completely locked them down. Oh, Europe, you're so weird.
What just happened there?
Renegades are going to just be scratching their heads. I mean, like, imagine the comms. If I could, I would pay a silly amount of money just to hear the Renegades comms of, yeah, CT, Care B, maybe A, might be library. Oh, it's A, it's B, it's A. No, CT's clear. I think are they A?
It's just so strange, because watch this, right? Alistair gets the kill here. Shush drops the bomb. Immediate information. You know that library, CT, everything's open. Your B defenders spot multiple players coming through spawn, and they have to take a fight with Stown, who snuck all the way up banana. So at this point, you're assuming it has to be a mid to B. They somehow weasel their way back in through library, and they crack them open, and that was a great round there from Heroik. I don't know if they intended for it to go that way, but they're definitely playing loose Counter-Strike, fluid Counter-Strike.
Just a little touch too deep on that nade does loosen up the toes of Cadian.
Watch the difference here, Alex, of when Renegades drop their smokes compared to when Heroik drop theirs. So there's the first one that's already been drawn out, 1:25. So when you consider this smoke is cleared by 1 minute, and then they have 2 more. So Heroik, they're going to do a lot better of a job at forcing and pressuring the issue. One thing that Renegades might have to hold on to as this game does continue forward. Now back over towards A. They've forced the rotation towards B. They've drawn out utility, 2 smokes now. And they're setting up for this A bomb site. They are looking perfect at the moment, Heroik.
It's just going through their checklist, going through their flow chart. Alistair.
Oh, there's a chance.
It was such a chance. A squandered opportunity gives long to the T-Forces. Inns isn't going to take another repeat on that. He wants some close quarters and tries to find the timing. He does actually pull it off.
Sneaky boy.
Alistair, a couple of consequences to his actions there. He does land some tags. In fact, just the one onto Stown. Inns tugged in. He's got 12 bullets in that clip. Hats' Deagle would need a clean headshot about now. Inns and Hats, they're doing it to all they need. A clean headshot. Only Cadian. Number's going to overwhelm him now, and they have managed to turn and scare the wolf from the door. He is running away to save hold and keep hold of everything he possibly can.
Yeah, respect there. There's that one kill that came in from the CZ on the arch side that really slowed everything
I did not
down.
expect him to repeat, dude.
No,
when you see 3 and you've squandered your first shot, the fact he times his peak when Tessis is going for util, I mean, yeah, credit to be given. Great timing.
I think the only reason this is possible is because of the position of Alistair and Library, right? Like, him taking a pot shot keeps them at bay a little bit.
Oh.
Second one from Hats was everything.
Yeah.
So that one there, well, I spoke about how difficult it would have been for Renegades to convert those type of rounds. They bowed themselves out within the late situations. Heroik did not. And now, well, they have some upgraded pistols around this AK-47 in the hands of Cadian. Utility, light as hell. 2 flashes, 2 smokes. And some confidence out of Sicko here, spotting all the way down middle. This is the type of round, if you're Renegades, you can't lose, right? For Heroik, if they're able to snatch one of these away, a team who are fantastic at working with very little, they know what type of strategies to do with the saved weapons, the lower upgraded pistols.
Nice shooting. Sicko punishes the inquisitive look from Cadian out boiler.
Refresh has that AK now, so it's back in play.
So regathering their resources, heading back over towards the mid-B split. There's only a single flash on Shush, so if they want that info, it's going to be very hard fought. A single flashbang and a single AK and armor. Of course, there's armor behind the pistols, but the combination of both lies on Refresh. 3 CTs here to receive them, Chad.
Archside pressure.
40 seconds. Sicko's already hit a 1 great shot. May need more from him.
Great nade.
Whoa.
All in chain. Oh!
Still lining them up. Sicko's caught another on Arch. He's ready for the jump across. He repositioned nicely. Tucked in for the dig. He knows he's got close quarters to deal with. 4 bullets remaining. They advance. Held by Hats and Alistair. And it's just perfect. Keeping them at arm's length.
Good stuff. Clean stuff. They're going to completely deny this. This crossfire is way too strong. Pit site, they've been able to stand this entire time. Shush has to go down, and he will. 9-9. I sound surprised because I am. I think that they're actually playing some good Counter-Strike here, Renegades. And it shouldn't come as a surprise, really. They've been in Europe, what, for over a month now?
Yeah.
It was probably their individual ability that was one of the things which needed the most tuning, and then to get on top with the meta.
I mean, just to be able to regularly boot up your game and compete against players that are better than you. I mean, I imagine that for Renegades, as you said, we're thriving so much domestically. It probably does a world of good to just get smashed in every pug you play for a week.
Yeah, I think that's one of the things that my dream my entire life while playing from home in Australia was to get to just play against good players. And that was always in Europe or America, right?
I remember you had that breakthrough quite recently where you were playing like some competitive pugs, playing your ESEA games and realizing, wow, this was actually like, this was what I dreamed of.
Yeah, when I was a kid, it's what I wanted to do. Now I get to do it. And now these boys are doing it 10-9, mowing them down. They've taken the lead.
They're doing it their way.
Look, the thing is, we didn't talk about it a lot, obviously, though we're focusing here on Inferno, but Train coming up next. It's a map that Renegades last played and lost to an Australian opponent back in the middle of 2020. And that's the second map. They traditionally ban out Train, so the fact that they will be moving into that map against Heroik coming up, it means they must have been working on it. I'm going to be very interested to see. That means no prep work can be done, no demos can be watched from Hunden and co. And now they're the ones aggressing.
Here we are. I wonder if it catches Heroik out in the same way it did Renegades.
That jump peak spotty thing, I think. Oh, Tessus.
They didn't get the info. Now they do. Surely Stoun's going to be on a high alert of the potential flank. It's smoked. And they're actually well ahead of that smoke, so they're forward of the half wall.
They're giving them B here.
They are. This is a bit risky. Malta, he's going to get smoked off. Is he going to choose to reveal his position or remain unknown? It's the latter. And that enables perhaps a little bit of a late boost. They can contest the plant. They've taken so long with this plant. Like, the bomb's still way up. T-Apps, T-Ram.
Odd stuff.
Yeah, this is some mad Counter-Strike. Hats is not going to be ready for the arrival of Shush, but he can't arrive because Alistair's there. Oh, they get them both. Heroik's patience has prevailed. It's not the round, but it is certainly control. The aggressions have been squandered. Malta still tucked in, passive on B. Sicko and Int both pivoting back in. I keep accidentally slipping into an Australian accent when I say Sicko. It's the C. I don't know. I just assume that's how he says it.
Oh, Malta is very low now, and they're even running him down. This is a big problem on the B bomb side. They've gotten it relatively for free. Malta will have to wait for his teammates, and he's trying to stop the plant.
Will he?
What?
Oh, that's a huge gap. They assumed he'd contest from coffins. Stoun had to be responsible for one of them, but
this is some odd counter.
It is the fruitiest round we've seen in some time. I'm talking full Fruit Loops. Molly's not great. Frag's not great either. They've got 18 seconds to plant. Still yet to do so. It's going to be contested. There is no util other than a flash on Sicko. In's catching one. This is chaos.
What is going on?
He's not even going to be able to plant, dude. Fakes it out. Shot in the backside. Renegades take 11. That was wild. I mean, just recap how that started. The 3v3 was established after Heroik had Stoun T-Ramp with the bomb. They had two CTs. Like, let's just watch these closing stages. Well, Refresh, just assuming he was safe. Malta, the fact that he didn't announce his presence, didn't spray the smoke when they crossed. I think that element of surprise led to some false assumptions.
That's a really weird round. I am bloody perplexed right now, but Alistair's loving it. The stash is on, and back underway we go. Just pistol upgrade here. It won't be the buy coming out of Heroik, at least the full buy. Tech 9s are plenty. Utility looking good too. So a set piece right now where maybe they just, throw some pit smokes and cascade onto the site apps. Looks like it could be on the agenda.
These are the rounds where if you're Renegades, you just can't get caught in any of your bad habits.
It looks like they have an idea. The fact that Hats has dropped that Molotov already at 129 is when he threw that down, means they're aware of what type of play they're looking at. They have banana control right now.
Interesting.
Jump spotting.
I see what you're saying. It looks like they cancelled the apps explode after he dumped his util.
So they were aware of the type of maneuver to look out for here, which has forced Heroik to reconsider this, but they still have all this utility. Cadian can flash over banana. That will force in.
Oh, he's doing CT smoke?
Okay, so they're going to just try and run him down here.
So basically now, as it flies through the air, so do they. Towards B. As it blooms, so do they. Into B, it's in straight. Found, flashes, no problem. Pace is fast. Malta is 2. He's gotten over towards Coffins. It looks great. Damage inflicted. Malta does pluck Tessus out from the crowd. Cadian planting. Smoke blues. The spray is unloaded into the smoke, but Cadian lives on. Bombs ticking. Advantage taken a little bit more by Renegades.
Refresh is on a late flank.
Very late flank from Refresh. Shush, though, swings out quick from Alistair. Stoun with a double. Does get found. The flank is there in time. He will be able to contest this. There's no way they expect it. It's about execution. Element of surprise is everything.
Spotted one.
All he has to do is knock him off the defuse and survive. All he has to do. Sicko is the target. Sicko is the target, and he holds it. They hold their nerve. Renegades take 12.
Ooh, another spicy round right there, but they get across the line, Renegades, and well, they had two big names survive. The AWP carried across. It is chaos.
I mean, like it's actually such a refreshing change of pace when you see, like, when Counter-Strike is played perfectly, there's very, very few maneuvers or instances where you can get flashy, chaotic multi-kills. In this case, when you've got two teams in very different states of affairs and progress, you get to see some of the wildest mid-rounds. I mean, it's a challenge as a commentator, just to try and keep track and piece together all the different moving pieces of a, you know, a bit more loosely situated puzzle.
Yeah, I just got told just then that Refresh even picked a rifle up in that situation. So maybe the time getting the better of him, not knowing if they were sticking that defuse. He pulled that rifle out, maybe both kills came on through, but that's the different maker right here is Renegades are doing a good job at holding on to their nades. They haven't thrown out too many just for control in the early stages, limping them out, and the double AWP CT-sided setup. We saw it from Heroik, Stown was rocking it, Cadian had it as well. But if they get locked out of bomb sites here, Renegades, I'll be interested to see how they operate. They've given up banana control, they've given up top mid control. Just over a minute left on the clock. And the signals from Heroik are out. We've flashed top mid, we've poshed it a bit. Do you know exactly where we are? Because right now, this setup from Renegades...
They haven't got many flashes, you know, like it's actually just going to be smokes and bullets.
Well, there's the first bullet, and the first one to fall. Shush is down. What's a fake again? So they're heading back to B. Renegades have kept two on the site, and they're even rotating the third man over. Sicko will be there in time. The fact he's playing a passive position like this means they know something is up.
He's like ready to rotate as soon as the call comes in from his squad mates.
Have to run through this smoke. That's only going to be 10 seconds by the time that one starts to fade.
Yeah, they're kind of fine. Are they run boosting him forwards? Over the smoke, not quite. Chance for Malta, unloads his mag, holds down mouse one, can't find the third. Bomb's loose, 13 seconds, but with Refresh's frag. Where's Ince? What are you doing? What? Sicko's missed his shot. Ince has chosen to hide in emo this whole time. Now he can't contest, can't get out. Alistair's flanking. This is madness. And Renegades will take it. That was peculiar, to say the least.
Yeah, I understand the thought process right there. If Sicko hits the shot, he looks like a genius. Because that player they knew was stuck in towards the back of the site, one was planning, one was focused on him. If Sicko finds the timing, he gets a free kill right there. It might not look as laboured as it was, but they pick up that secondary AWP. And everybody can take a bit of a breath because... This is
20 seconds. I mean, like, listen, at 20 seconds when you're running through a smoke, let's not mince words. It should be Renegades' round.
Yeah,
like they've won the round at that point as the smoke is in their face and they're trying to run boost through it. But the fact it gets so hectic, it was Refresh who did give them just a slight lease of life, but hype starting to build for the Renegades. I mean, this is 13.
And the first timeout being called right now from Heroik. So interesting, they have been humbled enough to have to take a bit of a timeout here. Have a chat with the boys. Cadian maybe needing to do a bit of a rousing speech because this one is quickly running away from them. They have brought back in here, as you can see, bottom left of your screen, AKs for 4, Galil for Shush. Utility is good.
We've got a nice warm welcome to Australian CS from Magmate, our Oceanic brethren.
Bloody late down there. Wait, no, it's not that late.
What time? I don't even know. You guys work at like the craziest. You're behind us. You're ahead of us.
It's like 11 o'clock.
Living in the future,
it's 11
aren't you?
o'clock in Perth. Yeah, in the future. So it's like 1 a.m. maybe in Sydney. Maybe.
Gaming hours. Gaming hours. Floor laden with flame and smoke. No blood.
Well, good stuff. For, like, if we're going to talk about the little details of the game, they know they're against two AWPs. An AWP traditionally plays that line. Heroik throwing out nades to deal with it, do a bit of crowd control, nobody home to receive it. So, good ideas from both teams coming on through. If Renegades sweep late with these AWPs to take back mid control, that could be very, very good for them for info. But right now, they've given up banana, and they are kind of giving up mid once more. Sicko's just AWPing it from arch side, hoping they walk in dry.
Where did that go? That's a nice little way to throw it. All the way from logs, he can throw the Fnatic smoke.
Malta's waiting for an execute. At the same time, top mid control is being taken. Sicko's rotated around. That's leaving a gap over towards Arch. He's actually going to get active towards Porch.
Yeah, he wants to get some info. It's a prime position for retreating, and not anymore. Ouch! Tessus very quick on the trigger. Deals with the aggressive AWPing.
Here they come.
There's so much more for Hats to deal with. What are you supposed to do from Pit? He has Alistair in support. But they're flooding into the site now, and he does catch the first. Good backstab. Two in the site, elevated positions. He does get overwhelmed. Hats continues to be a thorn in their side, though. It's Tessus with the impact frags, and now Inns demanded a near impossible clutch. There's 3 to find, saving the AWP priority. Sticking around just for one of those Hail Mary wallbangs to connect. Unfortunately, he's not aware that Tessus is tucked in. And I think, yeah, that'll be the sign to back it up. So, Heroik, a take, this time successful. Tessus gets all the brownie points, though.
Tessus had a pretty decent first half as well. He's got 18 kills at this juncture. He had some decent multi-kills, some nice flanks, some impact rounds. But this will be the 10th for Heroik. So they are on the back foot, but the game is far from over. And if you take a look at the bank right now for that of Renegades, with the loss bonus coming on through, it was only 1,400 because they have been on a bit of a spree. That is the second round they've lost here in the second half. And with that, Inns will be able to drop a gun, Sicko can buy, Alistair can buy, and Hats can get their just. So everything should be honky-dory for the Renegades. But it will be their last gun round if they do lose another one immediately. They will take a timeout, so a good time to do so when that economy is on that knife's edge. So we've seen some aggressive maneuvers. We've seen the double AWPs for a few rounds now. Maybe they will slowly start to opt away from that. But that all really just came down to the entry kill onto Sicko, right? I thought that the two pit players with that crossfire did a decent job of changing the puzzle piece. So I was like, okay, well, you can have short, but we'll keep pit, we'll keep your life a little bit awkward until the rotation comes in from our teammates from B. And the timeout has concluded. So it will just be the single AWP. Hats is onto an AUG. M4's for the other 3. Sicko getting the big green.
Banana, it's actually given them full banana control. They don't know it, they haven't confirmed it, entirely unconfirmed, as he's given himself a nice little gap he could have used there.
Oh, they're pushed back through, so negating that utility and banana very quick here are Heroik. This information taken back for free, and they can also see that nobody is home. Flashing forwards, down, peeking up and over. Guns exchanged. And then Renegades went to deny full banana control here. So they've at least postured that they're trying to fight, trying to contest, but it's not stopping Heroik in taking control of this. You know none of the CTs are in front of that smoke or behind that Molotov.
Yeah, they've got all that info for free. Boost up over. Stound's even cleared sandbags with his movement alone. So, yeah, top banana, despite the retake utility and deep banana utility, if you don't have bodies behind it, Heroik and good players will be able to get that information regardless. There's the one way, well, not the one way, excuse me, the Fnatic smoke we saw thrown by Stound before. Good timing on that smoke, and they've got another in the bank. No, they don't. Told a lie. This is the last smoke grenade from the Renegades defense, so it does look like Heroik are going to have an unmitigated
Oh, that's
attack.
a bad death.
It's a bad death indeed. Apps goes down. Alistair solo. Sicko commits with a gamble. They will have, oh, I say that, no. Sicko he's second-guessing himself. They're committing to B now. 20 seconds. Malta and Inns can destabilize, but it's going to come down to their decision-making now. And
Malta!
Technical sprays. Malta does it just enough. A double kill, but it's not going to deny the plant. Refreshes caught Alistair's rotate, and just like that, the AWPer is left in another dire situation. It was previously Inns left with a 1v3 in the AWP. He gave up. Looks like Sicko's having a look at least. And Cadian.
Whoa! Everyone close your eyes, turn away from the screen.
Oh, Machine, what are you doing, bro?
Oh, dearie me. Okay,
That's a Machiney TV special, bro.
So that's like you're in public and you've followed through.
I've been there.
And
I've been there.
It's an awkward walk back home, isn't it?
Yeah, tail between your legs a little bit. I mean,
something between your legs.
In a different universe, you're taking that fight with your USP straight after on emo.
Oh, dearie.
What? Valve? Please?
Well, whoa. Alrighty then. Well, Renegades, bin juice is where the money's at right now. 2K, it was the 1900 loss bonus. This is where the game gets really difficult because next round they're going to get 2400 as the loss bonus. If they opt to buy in with that, they're going to have a half-assed buy. It's not going to be a full buy by any means. So this is where Heroik can actually level this up and run away with the game, locking at 16-13. I think the momentum's completely shifted now.
Speaking of bin juice, and while we watch this one transpire, Chad, I've been meaning to tell you about a real kind of another classic Machine moment at the hotel.
At the hotel, okay.
So you know Actimel, you know it's like it's one of the many products you can buy that's like kind of small yogurt beverages for your,
oh, yes,
your gut bio.
Yes.
Well, I've been consuming them regularly, I think, with all of the chemicals I could find. There's now just this kind of lingering, I'm going to say, kind of rotten milk odor when you open my door.
Tasty.
Yeah, and I don't really know how to resolve it or whether I'm entirely responsible for it. I think I am.
Maybe let the cleaners in.
I could do that. I was even rubbing like orange rind on it, just hoping it would kind of kill the smell.
Not a bad
Citrus
shout.
is strong.
The fact that Renegades are falling into aggression, has Alistair made it? Did they spot him? Oh,
I think
okay. They're aware.
Yeah, Stan was ready and not going to be seeing any of the highlights we saw in the CT aggressive maneuvers of Heroik. That's a bad smoke mid.
Yeah, there's been a couple of those from Renegades here, and you can really see the pressure getting to them. They had to go for an aggressive maneuver because their buy is substandard. It's not a full buy, and right now, a man down because they tried some cheeky aggression. Oh, the gimmick, I don't think it's going to get them across the line here by any means.
I feel for Inns when you've got nothing but the M4 and the Kevlar vest you came in with. He has, for now, survived Heroik's wrath. They are gathering troops for denial of mid.
Someone needs a multi.
This is great timing. Hats has actually got a chance here. Peeking off it, and no frag, no conversion. Peeking on his nade, he's standing his ground. He's so much damage. Maybe Malta could have done more. He gets one, gets away. That's a start, but they're coming for him. They want his sight. He's got to deal with Long. He's got to deal with Balcony. Refresh is going to have his number any second now. Malta nicely isolates onto Stown, but they're in now, and Inns, previous protagonist, now finds himself detached from the site and accepting his fate.
Yeah, he should be saving on this one. And now those woes continue, right? Heroik tie things up at 13-13. Continue telling you all about the loss bonus. 2,900 for Renegades now. And if you guys do the quick maths, have a little look. Hats has 0. That means he will only have 2,900. Malta is a little bit more, 0 for Sicko. Alistair there with 700. Inns is going to get a barrel worth if he gets to hold on to that rifle, which is looking very, very likely at this juncture. And the problem is next round's not enough money to buy either. So they almost get this in mid, right? Check out this nade from Hats. It lands perfectly between 3 of them. You can just see right there on the animation how much damage it really, truly did. But you could see he was panicking, right? And unable to convert off of that spray. If he gets 1 or 2, maybe that sets Malta up for a couple of conversions. But this is where life gets very, very tough for the Renegades boys.
Yeah, I mean, I think you kind of hit the nail on the head with perhaps where that mindset's gone. Just feeling the pressure of the reality, like this is our map pick and we've got a 3-round advantage and
we haven't played train in over
team.
A year or about half a year.
Half a year. Our permaban pretty much being picked against us next.
Yeah, it's a bleak environment.
I mean, it's not bleak when if you tune in next round and they've got weapons and it works. It's just bleak. Heroik have really started to pick up steam.
Look at the bank they've built as well.
Yeah, 4 rounds in a row. And that's a punishing death for Malta. Cadian showing his quick wit. Quick up the apps as well with his quick scope. Now, Banana does seem to be the target of their affection. That's cool. That's really cool. Jumps for the sandbags and then lands on his teammate's head for the angle. Sicko, yeah, no hope with only a USP. They have A and they have not got the bomb. Oh my god, if Alistair... He doesn't know.
He doesn't know.
If only he knew. If he goes under, which he has, there's like a small universe where this gets awkward. Surely now you're like, guys, there's still an app. Something's wrong. Something's wrong. Hats is going to be spurred forward by the flames and loses his life. That's great play.
They haven't even needed the bomb to win the round. The kills have just come to them here, and it'll be the final one. Yeah, if it only worked out that way every time.
That was funky. Well, Chad, you were talking about the bank. It's only getting bigger. Heroik have now managed to accrue some $10,000 each. This is the punish. I mean, Cadian's just got a great read of the game, thinks the aggressive maneuver's been cancelled upon the call. Swings in to catch a retreating Malta. Very nice. But yeah, this Counter-Strike, it's entertaining. It's absolutely entertaining, and I'm not going to say anything other than that. Let's see how round 28 shapes up.
This is the difference maker right here. Renegades win this one. We have a game. Maybe we even get to overtime. They lose this. Call her done. They're being a bit more conservative with their utility here, Renegades. They haven't gone for that banana control. They're holding on to some utility, but Hats is about to be sprung on here, and that Mac 10 may be perfect. He doesn't have head armor.
1 for 1. Not ideal. Alistair's flashed off. Oh, a chance.
Needs at least a kill here.
Oh! Get a second to peek. It's down, pre-fire.
They need to save.
Tag through the half wall's not going to get you far enough. And so Renegades, yeah, they might have to just accept their fate, cut their losses, or risk it all.
Everything.
Yeah, you're risking the game here if you fail. Wow, they're giving him so little. That's a chance, a hard shot to hit. Surely you pull the plug now. Yeah, get the hell out of there.
It just feels to me like they're hanging around way too long, because if they get denied these guns, they lose any one of these three. Next round is going to look pathetic compared to what it could do. And now if you're Heroik, flip the script. Look at the money. You pointed it out at the start of this round. 10K, only a couple rounds left in the game. Get a bloody move on and see if you can take these rifles away. Make the last round of the game here nice and easy for yourself. Stown is starting to get that memo. Smoke signals are out. Hot feet, making some quick moves. Oh, well, they know they've got company, and there's more of that coming as well. So tucking in. Flashes.
Oh, why is it so sick? Yeah, Sicko does pull the trigger. Perfect flash to get them in with a chance. Looks like Renegades have maintained. Okay, sigh of relief for all of our Oceanic fans. And getting just one here. Refresh just immediately ready to trade, and as the body fell off the balcony, so did their chances down. Look at this shot. As the smoke blooms, a tiny, tiny little bit of his hip. Stopping any more impact from Alistair. Going to be feeding that one. All right, well, we're closing in towards our last 2 rounds of regulation. Last timeout from Renegades before they give it a go. 2 more in the bank should we get ourselves over to overtime.
Well, they've been able to drop some guns across, right? So they can make this work. It will be a good-looking buy here, but if you're Heroik, you're in the driver's seat. Consider how the last slew of rounds has gone. I think phenomenal is probably the best way to put it. They've won the last 6 on the trot. 1 more to close it out. And I think this is where Renegades no longer having a coach probably will come in to hurt them a little bit.
Or even just, you know, a familiar leadership voice. I'm sure Dexter was a huge part of the Renegades' rise to power. And a huge loss that we didn't, you know, spend time highlighting when we were celebrating his arrival into the Mouse Sports roster. They're going very fast here. Look at this. So lackadaisical. Dessus is full ahead of the smoke. He even jumps and hits it with a Mac 10. A necessary trade from Alistair. He spots more. Molly's the pull. Refresh gets the frag necessary. This is brutal. The Flames have done enough. He smokes to lock him out. He's taking some initiative. Crossing back into the site. My lord. Give me a moment's respite, please. Pushing up. Cadian has a good chance to catch Alistair off guard here if they're not active. Sicko is. Catches him as he mantles, dropping util. Looks like Renegades have fought off this Heroik BT.
Shush can still do a lot of damage to the economy here. He gets a kill or 2. Really going to hamper Renegades for the final round of regulation. Can't get that. Hats will deal with him. So, a hard B on the final call. Well, the second to final round they're out of Heroik. Figure, why the hell not? They gave it a crack. And they were met by 3 very angry Australians.
What a lovely gap. Delightful gap in that smoke for Alistair to at least be able to call the cross. His molly couldn't have been better either. Completely nullifies the potential for that cross. And Renegades bite the bullet. 30 rounds of play in our second game of the day here for ESL Pro League's 13th season.
Double up on the T side, double up on the CT side.
Big frag. Sicko drawing blood when it matters most. Down, gone. And that should give them such a luxurious pace now to this final CT round.
Heroik don't want anything to do with Banana right now. Just posturing to make it look like they're taking control. Meanwhile, working for mid. Last punch.
Yep, they pulled the trigger. A lot of work for Hats and Alistair here, faffing around with nades, eating flashes. They're trying to slow him down. Alistair's done well, as does Hats. It's all blue on brown. Renegades are taking us to overtime.
The things I think I can bring to Heroik are X Factor. I think I have some explosiveness and some clutch abilities that can turn a game. And I also think I can bring a hard work ethic that will eventually give the others more drive to work harder, like with me when they see what I do. I've always played a lot and watched a lot of demos, so I think that's something that motivates the team. That they have a guy who will do like everything to improve, and yeah, that's the two most important things, I think.
Preparing for battle in Inferno, our second series of the day, and we're not done with our first map. Yes, overtime. Gorgeous transition. That was ASMR for the eyeballs, and we are ready. Chad, great work, mate. All you. We have the Aussies, Renegades, boot camping in Malta, competing in the Pro League here, up against all of the European greats that housed in Group A. Heroik, one of them, albeit with two new additions. It's a little more loose and a lot less rigid than we perhaps may expect from the Heroik tag. We've definitely seen some Heroics though. Tessus has had his moments. You can see 23 frags alongside him.
He used a lot of nades over towards B early. It allows Malta to swing around a little bit. That's a very curious smoke. Take a deeper look at that one a bit later. But back over towards B, all 5 players. I don't think Malta's going to get here in time. And Inns, well, he's only operating with an AWP. So if he gets flashed off...
Well, I mean, the fact it's an AWP is something, right? They're going to burst through this off the back of a flash.
Oh!
Somehow flicks into refresh. Great molly to deny early plant. Mission accomplished. Rotate in from Malta, suppressing fire through the smoke. He's even got a nade to stop the plan. He's calculated this. It does do damage. Wallbang would be great. He's waiting for the sound cue, but Shush has elevated himself perfectly. They can't knock him off. Tess is falling during all of this chaos. Cadian needs to reposition as the flames do arrive. Flashes are great as well, suppressing any of the shots to level out the stead.
One flash left on Hats, that's it.
It's good. It's forced Cadian into cover. They haven't advanced, though. They have to go now. And into the no-scope. Sicko as well on the retake. It's all onto Shush. And Malta says no. That's int in a nutshell right there.
Felt like he didn't stop moving when he hit that one, right? He just snuck on out. Quick little no-scope as you like. That opening kill was great. The utility to pester and slow them down as well, keeping them in the floodlights, at least for the spam through the smoke. And Renegades handle a round where I thought they looked very panicky. Here's this opening again, right? So he gets that glimpse just before the flash goes off. Cadian's doing his best to level up the field here, but this no-scope, right? I've seen the... Oh, wow. It felt like Stown had all day to hit that one right there.
Yeah, I think he feels the same.
Yeah, that's a bit of a blunder. Well, guns are back out. Over time, we have 16Ks, so we won't be seeing any ecos or any discrepancies in the buys here. And now Sicko, he is getting some balls to him. Straight down mid, a kill on to refresh the AWPs. They're getting it done.
Huge impact across this CT side so far. Into OT, impact in the first, Sicko, first blood in the second. Doesn't get better than that.
Well, they've had these number advantages, and sometimes it feels like it actually works against Renegades. This time round's just holding their nerve. No top mid control, no banana control, but they've still been able to win out rounds with very little info. So split into a 2-2 formation, you'll see the bomb.
How long do they wait here for a CT for info? Like, you know, CTs at no point in a 5v4 need this info?
I think where Sicko is, they don't actually have to play for info right now because he can sweep late, right?
I'm just talking about Heroik. Like, how long are Tessus and Cadian going to sit here?
I don't know. That's a very good point. I think that you can normally hang around in this area until roughly 20 seconds if you want to do a very, very late fake. But they're hoping that Renegades...
Yeah, this is what they're waiting for. Oh, he actually timed it just as Cadian broke his line, but they're charging up for the B-Wrap. And oh my lord,
Ins
has no idea. Oh, caught on the quick switch. Heroik charging now into Malta. He's got targets on every side of him. And just as he looks away from the smoke, Stown emerges from it. Very punishing. Heroik turn around the 5v4.
Do you know why they run that with such conviction? Oh, they're going to go for this, right? They don't need to save. We'll talk about this after, but Cadian has to deal with 3 in banana here. First as easy as you like. Surely the rest follow.
Oh, no fun for anyone here. Well, there's an AWP holding our line. The half-wall boost is something. They can double swing.
I think they made too many steps here. Cadian's not falling for any of these tricks.
Oh, it's so clean.
Yeah.
You just look like a bit of a plum.
I guess with Sicko on the screen, and probably not for too much longer, the fact that he took that shot at Shaw is why they went mid to B. Because they knew that the AWP wasn't long. So they knew they didn't have to worry about library. We don't have to worry about mini pit, right? We know that we likely have one AWP stuck on the B bomb site and one over towards A. So Sicko shoots. Oh, this is our only gap. I guess we have to take it. And they took it, and they caught Ins off guard. The fact that he had no awareness that mid to B was open and that Heroik got there so quick, that is how the round was won. Simple as that. And that was with an opening kill from Renegades. Like, that is the tiniest of details, right? But he gets the opening, he's done so much work, and then all it is the sound of his AWP is the reason Heroik are able to put themselves in
just pull up their socks and sprint.
Yeah, it's like, okay, well, you're there. We'll avoid you. We'll go mid to B. We'll make this difficult for you. And now it's tied up, 16-16. I feel that if you're a Renegades fan and you want to see them picking this one up, they need both of these, well, this last round, getting 2 on the CT side as a minimum. I think Heroik are in a very good position, regardless of the scoreline right now. They're going to be able to deal with these scenarios much better. The longer the game goes, the more I start to favor the Danes. They're about to boost, so Ins needs a quick flick of the wrist. Oh, he's all there.
Oh, Tessus takes his off. Malta, a lot of work on this man. He's made it very clear that he's playing on site. His utility, he hears them so close, and Cadian's the first man in. Nearly 2 kills, the molly nearly finishing the job for him, but awkward now unless that shot hits. Sicko's done a lot of work there. Catches enough to make it a 3v3. The bomb's on B, make no mistake.
Oh, Alistair, no.
And he's just pulled his knife out. The bomb goes down. Refresh later, banana. Sicko, excuse me, just gonna have his work cut out for him. As the smoke fades, he needs to find the quickest of scopes.
Oh, what a great molly as well.
Oh, they even know where he's there. They hear the sound cue. It's really on Hats, and he's made it a sound cue too. As smoke onto the bomb. A hope and a prayer. Looks like Heroik's two rounds on the T side are just a formality at this point. The smokes. Oof, that was a quick scope. Needs another one onto Stown. It won't happen, but he's trying to sit it. Gets found out. It's going to be 2-1 in our overtime first half. First to 19 is the magic number, and a distinct advantage now with the 1 round coming into the CT side, the favored side.
I think the Renegades T side, we saw way too many gaps. Think about all the times they were flanked either down middle or in banana, and they had no idea it was coming. So right here, unless they're able to tighten that hole up, which doesn't seem likely in the game. Like, the game is live. Like, it's not easy to fix that problem, right? This is something that they're going to have to work on afterwards. They might rely on the individuals here, and Cadian, he is very thirsty. They realize they get so much room, right? Look how many resources are dedicated from Renegades towards T-Stairs and Banana. It's just Malta, and he's playing one of the most passive positions in alt mid. Oh, catch that.
Involuntary surgery onto Ince's face.
Another nade as well, so no one home to receive that. Oh, I tell a lie. Hats even gets tickled up there, so deeper than I initially thought. The rotation on the radar, you can see back and forth, ships in the night, Stown and Cadian, both AWPers, both rotating over the top of each other here, so they must have a plan in store. Ind is going for a bit of a smoke play here. He might get a timing. Molly through the trash, draws Stown's attention. There's the timing, there's the gap.
And there's the shot, not the trade. Alistair's missed his shot, and Refresh is there to stop any funny business. Now only 3 Renegades firing. Sicko does connect onto Shush. Does release that pit presence just a little bit, and they'll be able to try and mid-round this as best they can. Looks like Sicko's actually going to throw out a smoke to library side. See if that pulls a player.
Oh dear, that smoke's just gone down.
Perfect. Couldn't be better. And Tess has just been found. Malta, he's worked some magic here. If they can get the smoke down, this is going to get really awkward now. Hats surely can plant. It's not him. Bomb's down. He's contesting, tucked in on Coffin. This cross is a hard one, especially when Cadian's hitting everybody. He takes Sicko's having a round, though. Last 2 coming in. They're not opting to boost. Hats is getting info as well as he advances. They're using the smoke to close the gap. Sicko, his timing is everything now. He wants to contest just as they're starting to tickle that bomb, just as there's one bodyguard and one staring at the floor. Barrel's been visible. Oh, he gets pushed out. Hats needs a shot. Can't find it. It's close, but I believe they've done it. 18 for Heroik. Down to the wire, quite literally, with the bomb.
Yeah, I really like that smoke they limped on out there to play around. It gave them a lot of wiggle room, right? It normally, when it's smoked off towards CT, that shrouds any type of push they look for, but throwing it a little bit deeper, giving them the cusp of the smoke to play around, clearing out towards Banana, clearing out towards Pool, and then just worming their way on in. Where that bomb was planted, it meant that Sicko wasn't in a position to re-peek. Contact if it came through Hats first. Maybe that was the chance they needed, but 18-16 now, and just one more round. And Heroik will be able to net up map number 1. We are moving to Train next. You can see that in the top right. Vertigo if we need it. But Train is going to be a very, very interesting affair. Do Renegades have anything left in the tank right here? Sicko has come alive late. He was kept relatively quiet other than that clutch that we were hyping up within that first half. It's up to 20 kills now. He's caught up to the rest of his team. What's the bailout? What's the option? The defaults are getting punished. They have worked out where the gaps are, Heroik. Remember, that was a 3-on-5 situation that they almost turned around there, Renegades. So the late round specialty is theirs. If they could just trade out efficiently here within the early stages, but this is the aggression we've been hyping up.
Yeah, caught them off last time. Let's see if it happens again.
Yep.
Oh dear, it has. So very, very perfectly. Hats shot on the side of the head, and this time it ends with a very clean and precise trade. There was no double aggression down middle, so things will slow down for a second. They actually forced the shot out of Stown with a good flash from Spawn, so Banana control no longer so much of an issue to gain. They should be able to walk their way up, and it looks like that's exactly what they do. Okay.
Oh, Stan is very lucky not to catch any damage just there. Look at this off angle he's playing here.
I mean, it's very hard to not concede a frag on this this kind of line held by Stown.
Yeah, the drop and fall as well. Luckily. That footstep, I'm not sure if Stan would have heard it. Definitely
hear that. All right, well, this is going to come down to firing the trigger. No one goes down. He smokes for his own recovery. He'll be playing around that new box smoke. It's pretty clear, though, pretty telegraphed. They're going to swing onto him eventually. Bomb still in pool. Inns. Oh, a missed no-scope. Now they've got an extra frag to work with, too. From Inns, Malta falls on Banana, makes it all the more difficult now for that plant. Alistair lives on. They shot his toes. Cadian, not lethal. It enables Inns to keep on firing. Bomb keeps on ticking. 26 frags. Renegades given away back in by Inns. He's burning. Alistair's so low. Cadian holds the trag. Inns is gone. It's all on to Sicko. He's missed his shot. Needs a second. He's hit it. One more to find. It could be from CT. He does see the shadow pistol. It's not enough, and there is time. Cadian with some impact all over the shot, but more chaos in the server for just the first map here. There we go. Train secured. Heroik sending Renegades packing on their map pick. We'll get ourselves ready to break it all down. Jason Kaplan joined by Jacob Pimp Vinicky over at the desk when we return.